Welcome back. We are here for The Between Secrets in Lavender, episode 5. We're welcoming back Felix, who has had one hell of a time over at the Dog and Whistle, so hopefully we'll be able to drag him away from the Dog and Whistle and bring him back into the threats. Um, and just to discuss something mechanical, which is the fact that the hunters have not yet used the threat mask of the sharpened glade, which goes with Enigma at Little Blackbirds. They are on the verge of possibly resolving the threat. We'll see how this goes from answering some questions. But I think the way the current house rule is going to go is that if you do not use the threat mask by the time that you resolve the threat, way it goes is that you can use it towards the roll for the threat. Like, if it doesn't turn out the way you hope, you can use it to bump up the tier of the roll. Like, one person can pick it. Everybody does it. But you don't the way it used to work is that like one person picked it and then everybody else had to do it, and then like everybody else had to also pick masks. I don't think that's the way it goes anymore. I think that one person just has to, or excuse me, everybody does it. It ups the tier of the roll, and then that takes care of it. Like nobody else has to pick any other masks, so you don't have to sacrifice um, any other masks towards the roll. So if you don't use up the mask, the threat mask by the answering the question, then that is how it can be applied. So it saves the whole table. So hopefully, you know, this you won't need to use it, but if you do, there you go. And I'm easy. If you don't have to use it for the threat roll, for the answering a question roll, then you can use it in the resolution of the threat. Like, God help us, like, one of you gets into real big trouble, then use the Mask of the Sharpened Glade and you're fine. Yeah. And you use it like normal, for sure. I mean, literally, there's no reason not to use it to bump up the result then. Yeah, yeah, literally. Unless you get a 12, like, for some reason, and in which case, then
I mean,
obviously no
even
reason.
then, just bump it if you want to do the mask. Then, you don't
I mean,
have.
but if you get a natural 12, like if you guys like rolled box cars or something like that, there is no other way to go. There's no reason to use the mask, really. That's the only
No, but there's
reason not
also
to.
no reason not to do it.
I know, but
You can just be
There's a
like,
well,
I
purpose.
want to narrate the moment
I'm
that
just
the
saying.
mask
Well,
says.
hey, I'm just saying. I mean, in the case of that, I mean, like, there's nowhere else to go. However, you do have two questions that you could answer.
Yeah,
So, like, you could apply it to either or, right? So it's fine.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Soul,
yeah.
soul. All right. So first off, um, yeah, let's get Felix out of the dog and whistle. Felix, would you like to explain? It's like, how can we get you from point A, which is dog and whistle, to someplace where Jiayi can find you?
Legitimately, if Jiayi goes to the dog and whistle, Felix will still be there watching as what's his name? Morton? Morton continues to gamble with everyone else at the dog and whistle. This is his domain now.
Oh my God.
Um and he's killing time until he's welcomed back to Little Blackbirds.
Oh my God.
I still have that condition.
That's
It was
true.
very clear. I do not want you in this establishment.
Oh, that's true. It's true.
And I figure that while that gambling is happening, that is my vice. So
Mm.
we'll be able to have a vulnerable scene.
Yeah, very true.
And get more clues.
And then
Perfect.
answer that question. Yeah.
Jayi, I think maybe you find out that there's like a bit of a like um, you know high stakes or like, high ruckus winner at the Dog and Whistle. Like, and it's been happening like all day. And I think you can tell from the description of the person that's been heading this thing that it's been Felix. He's been there all day. So I don't know if you want to get in on the action after your performance high with Fitz.
I mean, I'll throw it over to Mike. Do you want us to have a scene together, or do we want to go into the night and just resolve the questions and have the vulnerable scene after?
No, it would be great if we had a vulnerable scene just to bring him back into the plot.
Because he really can't.
Sure.
He really can't enter the. He doesn't feel like he can enter back into Little Blackbirds.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Then yeah, I think sort of maybe feeling also like whatever is happening there needs to be resolved, and so knowing that Felix might want to be present. Sure, yeah. Jiayi we'll go to the Dog and Whistle and get in on the fun.
Cool. It's a sailor's pub. It's unfriendly to most well-dressed folk, but I don't know, Mads, has that softened since Felix is
Oh God,
rolled
yeah.
in and they're
Oh
like,
yeah. I
okay.
think by the time that Jiayi rocks up, I mean, like, there's people handing her a big fat like sloshy mug of something something, and Jiayi, you can take it or refuse it, whatever you wish. But I think, like, over the heads of these people that are like, swinging the grog, you can see Felix like up on the bar and then just running the show, whatever show there is. The gambling, the the wheel of chance, the card table, whatever he's set up. Yeah.
Mhm.
What picture does Jai see of you? You know.
Separate private table that's overlooking the bar. There wasn't a private table. It's been moved into a corner of esteem. Uh he's there by himself. Maybe a couple of the sailors come up and ask for like a blessing or advice on how to approach gambling, and he's just they're like, yeah, do this, do that. Like he'll blow on some dice and then kind of wave them off. And Morton, poor guy, is being pulled from one table of gambling to another, liar's dice, cards, five finger fillets, just thrown to the wind as these sailors are here to have fun and force him to have fun. And he's visibly miserable.
I
And
think that we will see a shot of I assume we're going to do your vice of extravagant spending. I think in that case we sort of see a shot of you maybe like half, like kind of thoughtlessly, distractedly like blowing on some dice as people are offering them, like, very much like I'm imagining like this really tired celebrity doing like signings
autographs,
at a
yes.
book club, like that kind of vibe where it's like, yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Yes, what can
Yeah,
I?
I
Oh,
I think we will see a shot of like a hand holding up dice, and then as you go to blow on them, Chai's like grinning up at you.
oh, Jiayi, a pleasure.
Will you bless these dice for me?
Of course. And he'll blow extravagantly.
Should I roll high or low? I don't actually know how this game works.
Oh, well, there's a variety of different games that you could play, and he'll lay out the land over everything. Although I figured that this wasn't your particular hunting ground.
How so?
Well,
Should I keep myself constrained to only one type of hunting?
that's a very fair point. In my experience, there are a variety of different games that people are willing to try, cards, dice, and it's just a matter of time until you find the one that's right for you. But you're right, I shouldn't restrict you to a single game.
Think I
Have
like all types of games.
Oh, and what's your favorite type of game?
Well, I was hoping you would show me yours. Show me Show me the one that you think is most interesting.
then that's simple. Liar's dice. He gets a set of dice and places 2 cups. He gives them to you. He walks you through the basis of the game. You play through. Dice are honest. Dice are chance. And the game is predicated upon knowing your opponent and knowing how far you're willing to push and how far they can be pushed. And I say that mostly to lure people in. Dice are not honest. Dice can be weighted. Dice can be fixed. But if you find the sucker who's willing to play with loaded dice, then you know their angle. You understand what they're looking for. And you can understand how far they're willing to push. That's why I enjoy this game.
Is it only a sucker that must play fair? It seems to me like altogether the point is kind of lost if we already know the answer. Yes, I could hide cards upon my sleeve and know that I will always have the winning hand, but then why play at all? To win?
For opportunity. The entire reason that someone gambles is to get value.
Out of what?
To get a chance of something better than what they actually have. To make sure that there's a greater fool somewhere. If someone
to sit
wins,
with you.
Me? No, please. Do you know how tiring it is to have some beggar come up and ask, please, just help me in this one final hand so I can have a better life? Or some wealthy merchant to come up and say, please allow me to add more to my great hoard, or any number of other things. It's so tiring. They're hungry.
To always be asked for things, to always be asked to give something. That must be tiring.
And then they give you garbage. They say, oh, here's a wonderful gold so-and-so, or a pearl encrusted, what do you call it? A true offering has to have pain behind it. It has to have sacrifice. And they're willing to give gold for gold. And it's boring. It's pointless. And they're never done. Jiayi, they're always so hungry. They always want more.
So it is not the asking that tires you. It is that they are not willing to give the proper tithe. Not the question, but the answer to it.
You start to get closer to it. You're perceptive. You're good with people. Haven't people asked you for things? Someone as lovely and fair and entertaining as you. Doesn't it get tiring?
Oh, I love to be asked things. I love to see what they ask. The question can tell you so much. And I think all of this is a question, isn't it? To know the answer, that would be so terribly dull.
Maybe. But you didn't come here merely to talk about gambling and answers to questions and the like.
Perhaps I did. I didn't, but perhaps I could have.
Don't get my hopes up like that. That's unnecessarily cruel.
Oh, I do apologize. I did not mean to wound your soul so badly.
You'll have to make it up to me. I assume we're going to Little Blackbirds.
Yes, if you would. I think something interesting is going to happen. Perhaps not a question, but an answer.
Finally. And then I'll make Mother Mallory eat her words. Oh, we do have a hanger-on to grab, and he'll kind of wave a hand, and the sailors will bring Morton up and just kind of dump him at the table.
Jiayi just like looks from Morton to you to Morton to you. Hello.
Hello.
Have you had
Are
your
you part
fill,
of the
Morton?
question or the answer?
I don't understand. I really need to get back. I wasn't supposed to be out this long.
Don't worry, we'll escort you to Little Blackbirds ourselves.
Uh,
I have to collect after all.
and he looks so pained, like that you're going to collect on his favor that is now belonging to you.
And I will explain to Jiayi as we go on our way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we will have sort of the mood whiplash of that pained look, and Jiayi once again like offering her arm, like all dainty back on the chair, like probably.
Yep. So, let's look at conditions. I think that you can take off that little shit for now.
I am being welcomed back with open arms.
Or at least, like, you can go a roundabout way and, like, get past that dragon for a bit, like, when you resolve. And then
You're being tolerated with open arms.
yes, exactly. And then Jiayi, it's like, I think Felix addressed the, hunting for you, so you can,
Honestly, I feel like this has just made her more like, yeah, I'm definitely on the side of the monsters. So it's like less of a moral conflict. Like, I'm not worried about it anymore. I think I figured it out.
You're good. So if you want to release that condition, that's fine.
Yeah, she's got to stick around because these people are interesting and fun.
Or at least Felix is.
Yeah, he's gonna get messy. She knows it in her bones.
Hey, whatever works, right? To keep it fun. Oh my gosh, you guys are great. Holy crap. Okay, so taking a look at this now. You've got, let me see. Looking at the threats. Okay, so little Enigma, Little Blackbirds, currently has. Come on, threat. Here we go. 11 clues on the board. Did you just add the whole TBD clue for you two to this list? Or
I mean, I would assume we were gonna do that for the lurker.
Okay, then that's fine.
But that
then
would make more sense to me.
That's fine. Then
Unless Felix, you have a strong one for the.
No, I think we have enough clues for Blackbirds. Okay. Thankfully, our guest is for both threats, so that works out.
Okay, so go ahead and put your TBD for Limehouse Lurker. So we're good for that. And so again, we are good for 11 clues for Enigma at Little Blackbirds. You have 2 questions that you can answer. So, is the killer one of the other patrons or one of the escorts? A complexity 4. This is resolving the threat by laying a trap for the perpetrator and catching or dispatching them. And then the other question is something that you can answer, or you don't have to, but it does get you a custom move. How was the killer able to use the power of nature to murder Lord Brookmead while everyone was at the house? Complexity 4. Answering this question unlocks the custom move, the Forest's Sense. Okay? So again, 11 clues found, and however you decide to distribute will determine like whatever bonuses that you can apply to the question. All right? So I'm going to read off the clues for the recording. A vase of dying pansies, floral meaning you occupy my thoughts. Ivy boughs, hung in a strange place, floral meaning fidelity and attachment. Lord Brookmead's journal with some entries torn out. Cicero, drafts of political oratory, plagiarized from Roman texts coming from branch-choked throat of the Lord. A letter of steamy ardor with no recipient or sender. To be determined from the vulnerable move. The poetry on the nature of finding oneself. Rumors of a troubled marriage of convenience with monetary implications. This clue, I'm adjusting because when the butler comes back from, giving you your tea, Mordecai, he actually did find the book of erotic poetry out of all of the similarly or same titled versions of a book of erotic poetry and says, "This is the actual book, sir, written by Lord Philip Brookmead, and it seems to have an inscription." And he opens it up and shows you the flyleaf, and it says, "To my greatest admirer." but
Nice.
no name.
Yeah,
No
of
name.
course not.
Of course not.
No, that is fine.
But that is the clue. A book of erotic
Yes.
poetry
Cool.
with the inscription "To my greatest admirer."
Just a question: can I grab that book, like lend it from the library there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will do that
An
for
argument.
my own amusement mostly.
An argument between two escorts ending with "he had it coming," and another TBD from the vulnerable move. Okay, so 2 clues where it could be the table can put their thumb on the scale for what they think is going on. All right, so I mean, anybody got any theories whatsoever towards either of the questions?
As for the how and the vulnerable move, the clue from last night's vulnerable move, I'm thinking that there is a fragrance in the house that it's fruity, it's spicy, but what it is 2 flowers. And the flowers in question are Jimson weed, also called Stramonium datura, thornapple, etc., which means deceitful charms. It also means I dreamed of thee. And the second flower is marigold, which can refer to jealousy. I think that because the devil's trumpet datura, whatever you want to call the plant of many names, can be used to induce hallucinations and dreams. I think someone dreamed themselves into contact with the forest.
So what clues would you use for that then?
Let me get so that I think the vase of dying pansies is tied into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's definitely some obsession going on. And the poetry on the nature of finding oneself. It's an introspective.
It's like an esoteric text.
Yes, exactly.
And if we
Thank
do
you.
it
That's the word.
that way, then we can say that Cicero was sort of like a predecessor to that document. Like somebody was reading Cicero and then they adapted it into the poetry on the nature of finding oneself.
I kind of like the idea because we have like so much like nature and flower things that it's like a very like a witch ritual essentially. Like you have to brew these together in some kind of potion while like saying specific words. And I kind of like the idea of maybe the ritual not going completely as planned. And that's why that like corpse was still like saying these words. Like it wasn't like a nice done thing, like something went kind of wrong there.
So what if
maybe the connection, the person who made that ritual had the connection to Lord Brookmead. Clearly there was a reason he was murdered, and that's where they got these ideas, right? That's where they first encountered the whole forest thingy.
I really like the entries torn out for that because that could then point to them like trying to cover that up, right?
Yeah.
But that could also be used for like who did it, because it sounds to me like this. I feel like this is really like going heavy on the there was an affair and someone got jealous, but I kind of don't want to go that way because it is so obvious. So I like the idea that someone went on that expedition with him and got like fully obsessed, like not even necessarily in like a romantic way, although they might be like trying to cover that up to frame someone else, to like frame Cobb and like Sarah, right? Because obviously like they had the affair going on. But it's
yeah,
actually
okay.
like someone else who went on that expedition
Yeah,
and got
I
like
like that.
fully like whatever weird shit was going on there, got like fully obsessed through like dreams and magic and all that stuff.
So that's more of an intellectual obsession and not an
Mhm.
emotional one. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like
The-
you know, like you and I were in this together. We were gonna figure this
Yeah.
all out, and then like you came back here,
And
and
you
maybe
wrote a
like
lot,
there
and then you wrote a ton of erotic thingies instead of
exactly.
doing
Yeah,
the
like you're
proper
just
research.
going
Yeah.
for like silly romantic affairs. Like
Yeah,
who
I
gives a
love
crap?
that.
We were
I
like speaking
I
to
love
eldritch
that.
gods, my dude.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Pleasure of the flesh. Come on. We have more important things
Exactly.
to do.
Okay.
Mordecai likes this one.
So
The murderer, actually, but yeah, okay.
the murderer went along with Lord Brookmead on an expedition where they became obsessed with something, capital S something.
Yeah.
Oh, the forest probably because
Yeah, I like the idea that it's
forest talked to me.
connected.
Okay. With
Yeah,
the
maybe
forest.
that's why also like why the corpse was still talking, right? They were like the
Yeah.
last words sort of as a, you know, like I
mean,
got you, I figured it
corpse
out, you
was
know?
still talking because I did magic at it, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
But
they
yeah,
made
but because the corpse was still talking about Cicero, right?
hmm
where they made contact with the forest through dreams. Upon returning to London.
And
Was
then
Lord Brookmead like also obsessed, or
no, I think maybe we can use like the marriage of convenience as whoever this person was basically like thought like, oh, you don't care about this like anyway, right? Like you have this troubled marriage. You have these things that you're like, obviously that like side of life you don't care for. You only want to do intellectual things. But then he came back and he did care for it and he did want to like maybe, you know, like that love letter was from him because he like was trying to go back into that life and the person who was obsessed was like, no, what are you like, you know, like you're this love and romance is like taking him away from me and we have like the world to change, we have things to figure out, we can't be doing this.
Yeah, because you're going back to this humdrum thing life that you no, we can I don't know, overthrow the government, become the masters of London, or become the masters of the English forest. Lots of forests in England, so yay.
Yeah, and the ivy could have sort of been like it's fidelity, but it's also attachment, right? It's sort of this reminder like, no, you swore allegiance to this forest, to figuring out what that is. That is where your loyalty should lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we just should split up the clues to which goes to what question, but I think we have a rather solid explanation for what was going on here. Right?
So we have a solid explanation. We haven't decided who it is.
Oh, right. We should decide.
I mean, if we want to make it, what's his name, Morden? That would
Morton
fix Felix's problem.
But I don't see that really. I'd rather see the one of the guys
Nora.
Ellie talked to, right?
I was also thinking Nora because she's the gardener.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Yeah.
Wow, circles back to the gardener. Holy shit!
Nice. That's also cool.
And the reason she was so uncomfortable and nervous was, yeah, I did what I meant to do, but it went. First off, it went weirder than I thought it was going to. And second, here I am trapped in the house, and there are people looking into this. I'm still here. Are they gonna figure me out?
Yeah, and maybe also like sort of the classic like I wanted to investigate the Eldritch horror, and now I did, and I'm, you know, the Lovecraftian protagonist on his last 3 sentences because turns out this shit sucks actually.
Yes. I did it. I found the secret. I contacted the
exactly.
That was not a good idea.
Right.
Oh, no. Now I'm like, what if the ivy? But that's not the question. Never mind. I was like, what if the ivy wasn't placed by a person, but by the forest, as in like you're attached to me now? But that doesn't help us
mean,
with either of the questions.
yeah.
So.
I mean, it could have been an outgrowth of the message being sent.
Mhm.
It might not have been placed by hands, but it is still an effect of what's going on, and that can, you know,
Mhm.
point to what's going
Um,
on.
I mean, the forest could still have a sort of sentience here that has been awoken by the person messing with forces they are obviously not equipped to handle.
What if they weren't necessarily like aware that they were doing it though? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that they are aware that they're in cahoots,
I
like
mean, if they were
possessed.
intellectually,
Hmm?
yeah,
I mean, that doesn't make sense to me with the first question because that person did kill them. So how would they have done that with like they were like just going like, oh, it would be nice if he was dead. Whoopsie, I did it.
No, no,
Like
no,
that
no, no.
feels to
But
me.
what if it's like, there is like a forced influence, but yet, like there's somebody aware, right? Because they use the forced influence to, to kill him, but yet, there is something else around to be able to kind of like, leave these little like gifts or whatever, like these little hints like around the place. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like it's
It
not
Mm,
necessarily like where it's like all through just one person, like just the patron or the escort that did the deed towards Brookmead. I'm saying like all the other little things that have happened, like like the scent or the boughs or the vase of pansies or whatever, like whatever you've applied to the
I'm
specific.
thinking that some of this is just how the magic works. I mean, the perpetrator may
mhm.
not have had any idea that it was going to go this way.
Yeah. Maybe got a
Um,
hand? Maybe it
yeah,
got out of hand?
the forest does what the forest does. You can if you know how, you can ask it to do uh you
stuff,
can ask it
things.
or pay it in some very personal way to do something for you. But exactly what it does and exactly how is not under the control of the person doing the.
What what if so Lord Brookmead comes back, he's concerned about restoring his marriage. The murderer says, "No, you clearly missed the whole thing where like there's this magnificent thing and we get to be a part of it. What's wrong with you?" So they steal the notes from Lord Brookmead's journal, the whole like, "Hey, if you want to contact the forest, this is how you do it." Um and
Which he was
then
tearing out because he was rejecting what he learned.
so the murderer only got part of the notes. So
Mhm.
when they said, "Okay, Lord Brookmead, clearly you did not get it the first time, so we're going to do this again. We're going to expose you to the glory of the forest again." Yeah, it's different, and yeah, I don't have all the ritual components, and yeah, we don't have everything, but we could sort of make that up as we go along.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then
That's how rituals work.
yeah, well, Mordecai, the ritual expert, knows, but poor Nora, the gardener, who's been
Yeah,
exposed to the forest, has no idea. It's like
yeah,
close enough. And then
yeah.
the ritual goes predictably wrong, and
Hmm.
Lord Brookmead has a very close encounter with the forest, and
Oof.
Yeah,
So
Nora,
close.
yeah, and Nora is shaken by, oh, that did not go how I had hoped. Maybe we take it slower in exposing the rest of Little Blackbirds to the forest. Bit by bit. We prune the garden. We have it grow ivy
ooh,
bows and everything else, and we do it
mhm,
a slow pull in rather than like a one shot punch. Hey, look how amazing the forest is.
yeah, yeah. I like that.
Do we
And
have
how
any?
much how much of these ideas are from Nora and how much of them are from the forest? That is rather well, you know.
Don't know.
Once you've contacted a power like that,
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
of your thoughts are your own?
Yeah.
yeah. Without the
And
proper
precautions.
protection, which I
Hmm.
don't think she had.
Nope.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Nope.
Okay.
She's not a skilled ritualist. She's not
No.
familiar with this stuff. We do still have one TBD clue,
Oh.
which I think we might want to
always use protection kits. Oh God. Oh, such a great sentence. Oh God. Oh, scary.
Well, do we want to go ahead and answer that try to answer that first question of how it was done?
Mhm.
Okay, so wait, so hold on. So I just want to like make sure that I have the clues that we're applying to the first question first. So the smell of datura and marigolds. Okay, we're going to apply the poetry on nature of oneself. The Cicero of political oratory. And what else? The journal. Torn out. Entries. And the vase of dying pansies. So those are the 5 clues that you're going to use towards the first, that it's going to be Nora that did this?
No, the first clue we want to answer is how it was done.
Oh, how?
Yeah.
How?
Sorry.
So there's a potion that uses datura and marigolds
Okay.
that gets you into a state where you can be exposed to the full glory of the forest.
Nice.
And along with ingesting that, there's some poetry, some sort of ancient ritual positioning and speech, which was decoded from Cicero and the nature of finding oneself.
Oh, wow.
The complete notes of which were in Lord Brookmead's journal. And given that when the ritual was done, they didn't have all of the original ritual components and details and everything else, they tried slapdashing it a bit with, we don't have datura, but we have pansies, so let's try that.
Used a substitute. Never use a substitute unless you know exactly what you're doing.
This is what happens when unqualified, uncertified ritualists get it. This is why you don't have amateurs do this work.
It's so funny that Jiayi being like bitchy for no reason, where she was like, ugh, what did the humans stir up this time? And she's like, actually totally right.
She's totally
The
right.
humans
Totally
did
right.
stir up something that they should have left alone and did not know what they were doing and did it wrong. She was just being catty for no reason, but she was unfortunately also correct.
All right.
That's what you get when you let amateurs do the stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, it is actually what most ritualists do, sadly enough, because there are very few skilled ritualists. Happily, that usually takes care of itself.
There could be collateral damage, but you know.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically the definition of like fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Lord Brookmead paid the price for someone else's mistakes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to put this under resolution. Not just that, but like the whole blurb thing.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're gonna put it the notes wise, right?
Okay. So
okay, all right. Now,
who's gonna make the roll?
yeah.
You started the ball rolling, Kathleen.
Not it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're rolling with a +1.
We have the mask if we want to bump it up
Yeah,
if it doesn't go
exactly.
well.
Yes. This
Let's
is
see.
true, which is good.
+1. 2d6 +1.
Matt knows exactly how gun shy I can be about this. For good reason. Okay.
Oh, good eyes.
So I got a 7.
It's dangerous.
Do we want to bump that up? I kind of think we do.
I mean, you're
Because we have another question yet to answer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean,
Well, okay,
can we answer the other question first and
no,
then
wait a second.
decide which one we want to apply the mask to?
I'm easy. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Then I'd say let's do that.
Because
Okay.
I mean, this is not a dangerous question. So this is like you're right. It's
A
fine.
7 is good enough. Yeah.
The 7 is good enough because it's just like, are you right?
Right. We might be a little fuzzy on some of the details or something, but we've basically
definitely fuzzy on some of the details, but basically it's like, humans fucked around and found out.
I mean, I feel like we've established the danger, right? Like it's still there and it's not summoned the way that it should have been. So it's just probably gonna be
Yeah.
like a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
But I mean, do we really want to waltz through the resolution without having an action?
let's see what
Just-
happens with
Yeah,
with
let's
the
see how
rest
we
of it.
roll.
Let's see how this
Okay.
goes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
So you've
let's
got
see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. You've
Yeah,
got 6
let's-
clues to apply towards the actual, like, is it a patron or is it an escort?
let's mark off the ones that we have used
Yes.
so that we know that those are used.
Yeah, so our theory now is that it's Nora who killed him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse
Um,
engineer.
That
Yep.
she was somehow included in that expedition.
Yeah, so she was in the expedition. They found
But she's whoa. But like, remember, like, okay, so before you think that, Nora is a young escort. Lord
Mhm.
Brookmead is an older dude. Okay, like
Maybe
you
you
know,
just
like
told her tons about it. She didn't
And-
have to be on the
I mean, I
expedition herself.
kind of feel like excluding people on that basis, then none of the escorts could have done it, because that would have, like, if the clues make sense for it, then that should be fine, right?
But I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like, not necessarily been on the expedition, but maybe heard about like some of the stuff that they might have
Okay.
seen.
Felix has something.
So if it's a
Lord
station
Brookman-
thing,
Lord Brookman might have brought her. I mean, the expedition went to Ireland. That's not that far away, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but like this happened. This could have happened a while back. There was no date.
so if Nora can't be it because young small gardener, then what if it's Mother Mallory? And that's why she was super offended that Felix just walked up and said, "All right, listen,
So what's your
find
worst
out whatever."
secret?
Pin it on Mother Mallory.
like the audacity of him just walking in, like, so just tell us who did it. Just say that you murdered him, and like we'll go. We'll be on our way.
Just
She's like,
want to pin it on Mother Mallory. You're
but
just
if it can't be Nora, who is the gardener, who's dealing with the forest, and you want it to be someone older, someone who maybe had a longer relationship.
I
with
don't really
Gordon.
understand why it can't be Nora. I mean, she could have been on the expedition. The expedition could have been rather recent, and he brought her, or he talked to her afterwards and shared all this stuff because he was excited, and his wife wasn't too
lore.
interested
Okay,
in
so
forest
wait.
lore.
So so I just wanted to I didn't clarify this when I introduced it. So like Lord Brookmead is an older fellow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, like, you
Yeah,
know, lore.
no,
Yeah, just wanted
that-
to
yeah,
clarify
we
that.
got
So,
that.
yeah.
But I think how she could have been on the expedition was not one of the expedition members brought his side piece. Not like that.
Ooh. Jeez.
But expeditions like this have servants, they have cooks, they have staff, because obviously the aristocratic men going on these expeditions are probably not competent in many cases to take care of themselves.
That's true.
So you have this whole apparatus of people supporting the actual explorers.
That's true.
Or
And
what if
she
she
could have
was
been
just
part of
brought
that.
because she's a very skilled gardener, and she
Yeah,
knows
she knows
like
her
all of
botany
these.
and
She knows her botany, and that could also explain like why she got up so obsessed with this. Like, imagine you're an escort who's like very low on the social status. You get like brought on this expedition with like this lord who's got like all of the power, all of the glory. He comes to you for your expertise, your help, and then you get like tossed back into being an escort.
Oh,
Because he
damn.
came back and he was like, okay,
Ah.
that was cute, that was fun. I'm going to go
Yeah.
back and deal with my marriage now. And she's
Exactly.
like, you can't
Because
just
to
do this
him,
to me."
like his baseline is powerful and glorious, but her baseline is not. So it's not even that she's like jealous on a romantic level. She's just like, you can't offer me like all of this power and like, have someone really appreciate me for my knowledge and like my skills. And then just when we get back, like what, I have to go back to being an escort, which like is not bad in by itself, but probably like after that to like go back to like that lower status would have felt like very like, that's not what you promised me. That's not what was going to happen. And maybe
Amazing.
that's why she became so obsessed. Like, if I can just prove that I get it, that I figured it out, that I can
Amazing.
do this, then
Yeah.
it's all going to be fixed.
Yeah,
Amazing.
she
And then
wasn't trying to murder
unfortunately,
him. She
yeah, I
wasn't
don't
trying
think
to
she
murder him. She was
was.
just trying to show him,
Yeah.
look,
Prove
I
herself.
understand. I have a connection
Hmm.
to this
Mhm.
thing. You a closer connection than you, but I can help you have that connection.
Okay, so
Yeah,
make
she
the
just wanted
make the
respect,
clues.
basically.
Yeah, make the clues tie in. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the clues would be so the IV, the fidelity and attachment is
Mhm,
basically like her saying, like, you have to be loyal to like the mission, to like the forest, right? It's not about like romantic attachment, it's
Yeah.
like the mission,
Sure,
so
sure,
to speak.
sure.
The letter of steamy ardor and the rumors, I'll start with the rumors first. So basically, she thought because the marriage was like, oh, it's just a marriage of convenience, so he doesn't actually care. When we get back, we will still be like on the mission. We will still have like this intellectual pursuit because you don't care about your marriage, really. But then he came back and he did care. And he did start putting like a lot of effort back into that marriage, sort of pushing like all of the forest stuff on the wayside, which is that letter of steamy ardor. It's like him trying to reconnect with his wife. I think the book of erotic poetry as well is like him just like really going back into that side of life.
Oh my.
And I think maybe the escorts he had it coming, maybe they were kind of upset for Nora who got like tossed out, and they were like, maybe maybe he deserved it. Like they don't know that she did it, but they were
They
like, yeah, if you're gonna be like so dismissive.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
they misunderstood like why she was so offended,
Mm-hmm.
because she goes on this trip with him on an expedition, and they read it on a surface level of oh, like she fell for him and he just cast her
Yeah, it's like the
aside.
classic, like the patron who said, like, I'm gonna marry you, right? And I'm
Mhm,
gonna make you
mhm,
like
mhm.
important. And then, oh, he didn't because they never do, those bastards.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's like, no, I mean, yes, but no.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
no, not that kind of thing. No, not at all. Oh, amazing.
So
And we
Okay, okay.
still have that TBD clue from the vulnerable move between Ellie and Felix.
Oh,
So what did
Me
we
and
figure
Was-
out or come across?
I thought
That-
that was the
No.
pair of shoes spattered in blood. Like that was our
Oh,
scene.
that was ours. Okay, so the
That
other
was
one,
ours.
so the TBD from the vulnerable move that's still on here is from the Mordecai and Jiayi
Mm,
vulnerable
okay.
move.
right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you were hunting, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about hunting and attractions, I think, maybe. And
Mhm.
people being mortal or not. Let's see here. What can we make of this? So it
I
has to
feel
connect.
like maybe something. Oh, actually, you talked like about sort of the intellectual pursuit of hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like
exactly.
that's the whole like linchpin of
Yeah.
this, right? It's not
Yeah.
about the love, it's about the intellectual. So
Yeah.
maybe just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's not
a
about love. It's about the mind, the intellectual
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I don't know how we would phrase that clue. Something like the a conversation on the pursuit of knowledge or something like
wait,
that.
wait. No, because you need to tie in the fact that, like, somebody knew that Nora had intellectual conversations with
Mhm.
Lord Brookmead. Like nobody knew, because like people like up to this point had only thought that, like, Nora was with Jiayi, right? Because Fitz
Mhm.
always thought that, like, Nora was connected with Jiayi. I don't think anybody
Felix.
really.
The Georgian Dragon has a bunch of exoteric texts. It has a bunch of like different subject matter. What if Nora wrote a pamphlet under a pseudonym talking about like, hey, have you considered, are bored with your life? Have you considered the forest? Reject civilization. Embrace the eldritch.
Have you considered just walking into the fucking woods?
Touching grass, no, touching bark,
Touch grass.
touching
And
bark today.
ever consider just walking to the forest and never coming back?
Oh my God, what the fuck, man?
And that would speak to Nora's like
Yeah, but
intellectual.
Is it maybe like a pamphlet in the poetry one? or like a page or something that was like stuck in as maybe for a way for her to like signal to him like
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't like published. It was like her trying to reach him.
Oh
but it has
my
to come from our vulnerable move, doesn't it? So I think maybe
Oh.
going in another direction, maybe you realize that when you know Nora, right? And maybe
Mhm.
she said something similar, and that kind of jogged something loose. That makes more sense.
So you're
Or
Yeah.
recalling a conversation
yeah,
that was
exactly.
the recall was sparked by your scene with Mordecai.
Yeah, exactly. So when Mordecai talked about the intellectual pleasures of the hunt, then maybe Aurora said something similar about intellectual pleasures of things that she
Sure.
actually liked.
Maybe she
Yeah, I think that. Go ahead.
maybe she mentioned like the intellectual conversations that she had had with several, or
Mhm,
maybe a particular patron,
mhm.
but she didn't
Mhm.
mention who.
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual conversation, particular botanical, particular botanical intellectual conversation that she had had with a patron. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
yeah. That way it ties in, so this way it's like,
Right.
oh,
Mhm.
because, I probably wouldn't have been with Jiayi, but it's like, wait, she was with somebody else?
I mean,
What?
Jiayi probably knows a lot about the forest
Right.
and what lurks there.
Yeah. But I mean, like, like for the fact that she was with like somebody else and talked with them about the
Hmm.
flora, like about the particular botanicals and stuff. I mean, like,
A gardener talking about flora, suspicious.
well, I mean, like, with somebody else that she's not normally like seen with
Hmm.
or whatever. That came up. So that's good. All right. So that's 6. That's the
So
full
somebody
6.
other than me is rolling this time because I did a
Yes.
last one.
So +2.
Can roll. Oh, I think maybe Jayi, do you want to roll because she's your
Sure.
contact thingy?
I think it's funny because Jiayi might actually like her more because of this.
Oh
Before
my
that, she's like,
God!
you're just a human doing human stuff, but now, ooh, you're like messy.
Oh my God.
How
A sense
fun.
of danger.
Ooh, you're trying to find out the old things that lurk in the shadows?
What
I
we
mean,
do
this
in the
is clearly
shadows,
something you
right?
can do with a lesson or two, but
Exactly.
you can
Well, it's
still
the
throw
power
more
of
behind
love,
the books.
y'all. 11 on the dice plus 2 for a 30.
Oh, for frick's sake.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, we know
Okay.
what this means. Okay.
We
So we
get
can
to
use the
bump up
mask
the
on
other one.
to
On the
get like
other
a
one.
clean 10 if
Yeah.
we want to do the mask. Because I
Yes.
think Sabine wanted to,
I
thought that
like
one was a fun
I
one.
like doing the masks. Come
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what
Absolutely.
it does, but I
Agreed.
like doing the masks
All
because
Yeah,
that
we
gives
need
us
more
more about the
masks.
characters.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
not heard from these people, so I want to hear from these people.
Where
So
are
let's
they?
see. I'm sorry. I've not made this dangerous enough. I'm so sorry. I will do this. I will wreck you people. All right. Oh, sorry.
I mean, we just rolled well.
Yeah,
We
seriously.
rolled well, and we're ramping up.
Yeah, it's
You know,
literally the
if
first
Which
mystery.
which dice has been really kind? I swear to God. I swear to God.
except when it
I
comes
got like
to
a 2.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
it
except
doesn't
when
like
it comes
you. I
to
mean,
like Ellie getting beaten up by a tree and a child. Uh,
look now. I mean, like normally in my games, like the kids in Limehouse Lurker are really nice. I don't know what happened to you. I honestly do not know what happened to you. Like that
I
got messed
gave
up.
them candy.
I don't
They
know
just-
what happened to you.
They
Okay.
just don't
You're
like
just-
Americans.
Seriously,
They're
they just
super
don't like you.
British kids.
Seriously, that's true. They're just British kids.
They're just patriots. You betrayed their country.
Yeah,
You
why
don't
don't
want to
you
be a
throw all the
patriots.
tea
Fine,
in
don't be
Oh
a
my God. Okay.
Nah.
All right. The mask. Can't see the straight face. The mask of the sharpened glade. Each hunter will describe a flashback to a time when they took a sheltered moment alone somewhere peaceful, only to be forced out of it by terrible circumstance.
Oh,
So
nice.
that is your mask. Can be done, obviously, like at the end of the session or what have you. So You can put that together. Okay. Oh my god. So, yeah. So we're pinning this on Nora. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Okay. This could be dangerous too. This could be. All right. So, what's the plan? Are you somebody gonna talk with her? What are people gonna do? That nighttime.
Are we actually pinning this on Nora? Even though we know she is probably the one who did this, are we going to pin it on her, or do we want another patsy for this? And this is clearly Mordecai. It's not like, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Look,
again,
I can sympathize with the girl.
yeah. I mean, is this a
But
like talking
I don't-
to, or is this a like I think we should? Yeah, because what are you gonna do?
I don't like the idea of somebody messing around with powers like this without knowing what they're doing and like
Things like
stirring
that can
up
be-
ancient eldritch beings and killing people they don't intend to kill. I think that's
Who here hasn't
Well,
killed
maybe she
somebody
did
they didn't
intend.
intend to kill? Come on, Ellie.
It was a mistake. You learn from these mistakes. The point of the job was to make sure that the house wasn't shut down. We can say, Mother Mallory, we know who did it. We have a fall guy. You don't lose a gardener. Mordecai maybe can help Nora in terms of if you want to work a ritual, this is how you do it.
Yes, I can give her some guardrails, at least,
so
she won't call on the forest in that catastrophic way without intending to, at least.
So the
so what
plan is
explanation do we give to the greater world? A man is dead, he's gonna be missed.
Yeah, and it's such a shame that this gentleman who was so jealous after Lady Brookmead took matters into his own hands and decided to murder the other
Her
party.
husband.
Her husband, because their relationship was a marriage of convenience. It was troubled. He thought that he could be the one to make her happy. We literally do the thing that we said, oh, that would be such a boring solution. We give the world the boring solution.
We can do that, or we can say that this was some kind of accident, that Lord Brookmead actually messed around with things beyond his ken, basically, and died of a weird kind of poison. That happens if you play around with frost. We don't want to throw Lady Sarah under the bus. I don't know if she has deserved that particularly. I mean, I don't particularly care either way, but I mean, we
You
could
haven't
just
met
go
her.
with the. I have
I don't want
not,
to throw
no.
her under the bus.
Well, in that case, maybe we'll just say, old Lord Brookmead went on an expedition, brought something back, ate it, and suffered terrible consequences. Which is why you shouldn't just eat stuff that you find in a forest, which is good advice anyway, I think.
right. Okay. Is that
So it's
the
a weird
solution?
kind of accidental suicide is the
I like
I
the
mean,
I like the murder angle because Morton Casing was supposed to be with the victim that night.
Mhm.
Like he has motive, he has opportunity.
oh, so you want to throw this person that hangs around and gives
I
you
love
these
this.
wounded puppy eyes under the bus? Fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fine.
You just
You
want
want
a
to do
shot at
that?
Lady Sarah, it sounds like myself, but okay. I don't
Whoa,
care.
whoa. I have a favor owed to me from her. He doesn't offer me anything anymore. Like,
Oh my god, what the fuck? I don't care.
if you don't
tell
mind me getting taketh away, like right before we do this, so I can remove most beloved, that'd be great. But otherwise, no.
Oh my god, you are such a playa. Oh my god, you are hilarious to me.
I don't have enough experience. We're gonna destroy this man's life for absolutely no reason.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. What the hell? I mean, I love the way you play, Mike. I swear to God. Okay. No, seriously.
Fine, then
What
explain
is the
how
plan?
this was. Then explain how this was done, Felix. You know this man better than any of us, and you have a vested interest in getting rid of him.
Seriously,
Clearly,
vested interest. Yeah, vested.
What do you mean? It's not like we're going to go and tell the world that a tree grew in this man's chest. No, it was a simple murder, stabbing, poison, however you like. It doesn't really matter to me. But Morton
with
has,
poisoning, we have a very weird corpse.
I mean, who's going to look at the corpse?
At least someone will, and then there will be talk. And if we say this was just a simple stabbing, then people might ask weird questions. So let's go with weird poisoning. That's
Weird
I think that's
poisoning, then.
safer.
Okay.
I mean, there's all the folk stories about, if you swallow the seeds of a thus and such, it'll grow inside you. That's what happened?
American Tall Tales there, right there.
Oh.
All right. No, seriously,
Wow.
God help us. What I mean, like, is this the kind of stuff that you're planning on bandying around, like for Night Phase? I mean, like, because I'm okay with this. This is great. I love this shit. But seriously,
So, like,
you know,
what is the actual plan?
what is our plan for Night Phase? Because
Okay,
I get to mess
think
it up.
somebody needs to talk to Nora and tell her, you need to stop messing with shit you don't understand. We can help you understand.
Mhm.
Sounds like
Is-
Mordecai and Jiayi.
Is that what? And then we tell Mother Mallory, hey, this patron was after the victim's wife
Oh,
and
we're not
poisoned
telling
him,
her.
or are we calling it a suicide? I wasn't sure which way we were going, or not suicide, but accidental
Oh,
death. Which way are we going?
I was gonna say we tell her like the whole story.
Oh, okay.
Nora is her employee. She has a vested interest in making sure that this gets brushed under the rug. Here is a patsy wrapped up for you with means, motive, opportunity. You deal with the body. You deal with like making sure that justice is served. We did our part.
It occurs to me that one way to avoid a lot of questions about the body is if the body gets burned or partially burned before the authorities ever see it. As
Yeah.
if the killer tried to cover it up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because that'll make the cause of death a hell of a lot less obvious and therefore a lot fewer questions get asked.
So Felix and Ellie are gonna pitch to Mother Mallory, and then we all come together to get rid of this body. burn a corpse in,
I mean,
in the
Has,
headspace.
has
authorities
the
can
wife
find it-
not seen it yet? Because he has a wife, right?
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
knows he's dead, but she hasn't demanded to see the body?
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
Propriety,
I feel
guess.
we can leave the burning of the corpse to Mother Mallory, can't we?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's her establishment, and I would not want to burn it down by accident.
Okay. There you go, Mets. We confront the murderer with a listen. We'll get you on an intern trial basis, and then we also have talking to her employer about ritualists and you. Deal with a dead body on your own terms.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, and I think we had already done a bit of the. Yeah, we didn't enter anything into the library. I remember doing the library, but we did not. Nobody entered any descriptions, which is sad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like Felix, if you want to add like something into the library of all the rooms in Hargrave House, none feel more unstuck than this one. As you enter the library, what do you see or experience that feels a little off?
What does it mean by unstuck?
Basically, it is out of time, out of place. I forget, what did you say about it last time, Jiayi? Like, it is literally a recreation. It is not like
It looks like a Shang Dynasty library. And not like wealthy white person was like, ooh, I'm gonna be like exotic, but like literally
it
from
is
the Shang Dynasty, whereas
exactly.
the rest of the house is like more Gothic.
Yeah, like you've stepped into a different time and place, for sure.
And we have strange breezes, different architecture. I think that the room is bigger on the inside, and that the bookshelves go on and on and on as the further you walk down that bookshelf. The older the material gets, until you start getting to scrolls and then to clay tablets, and then no one's really gone to the end of it yet, but it's some old material.
Okay. Alrighty. So let's see. And I think for tonight's unseen, we're going to do. Oh, yeah. Since we're dealing with couples, let's do a night at the Grand Guignol. Another night at the Grand Guignol, the Laboratory of Hallucinations. Every class of people in London is represented in the audience at the Theatre Grand Guignol. They have come to watch a production of the Laboratory of Hallucinations, a story of revenge. Paint the Scene is the first one, and that will be everyone. Okay. Second prompt will go to Mike. Sorry, I'm like real people here. Act 2. Let's see. Let's go to Jazy. Third act should be very bloody. Let's go to Kathleen. Okay. All right. So again, that is Laboratory of Hallucinations, which is on I-21. All right. And so we're going to take a break right now. That'll be 10 minutes or, 10 minutes. So that should take us to 5 past. Yeah, 5 past the hour. And then, we got cat stuff. All right, great. So we'll pause recording, and then we'll come back at 5 past, and then we'll resume with night phase. All right. A little stinger. A little bit of mist as we go back in time, and we see a slightly younger, middle-aged, Rose Pemberton Potts, who is longtime friends with Sir Thomas Shearer Cole, and they are finally engaged after her first husband, by arranged marriage, dies. Queen Victoria congratulates them on their engagement and then orders Sir Thomas on an expedition to a rumored haunted forest as part of her empiric expansion. Rose clasps Sir Thomas's hands, and her face looks a complete mask of disappointment. And the mist goes over the screen again as we move into the unseen. Paint the scene. As the limelights pop to life and the crimson curtain is raised, what do we see as we scan the stage that tells us this is the story of a mad scientist?
I think what we see first there are some beakers, and they are bubbling, and there is some mist coming out of it, or fog, like these swathes of just dense fog. They're all gray or white, but this will have to live before anything else happens. But this is clearly an outside.
Not about what we see, but as the curtains are like raised and those beakers are revealed or like parted, whatever, we hear like that stereotypical like mad cackle going, like echoing through the room. Like we don't see the person yet, but we just hear that sound as we reveal the rest of the stage.
There's a huge blackboard, not neatly laid out as would be for students in a class, but absolutely covered in scribbling, most of which can't be made out from the audience, but but densely written notes and bits crossed out and arrows connecting one thought to another.
A bunch of kitschy science equipment, maybe one of those plasma orbs, one of those anatomy models where it's half skeleton and then half organs, just a bunch of little scientific paraphernalia that maybe they don't see in the day to day, but they're like, oh yeah, that seems about right.
Mordecai and Jiayi, you're already headed over to Little Blackbirds to talk with Nora, I imagine. And I think somehow Felix and Ellie, maybe you get a little separated from Mordecai and Jiayi. Maybe, Ellie, you're waiting for Felix to get dressed. I'm curious, Felix, because now that you're feeling like, pretty confident and you're getting ready to be welcomed back to Little Blackbirds, what are you dressed like for this evening's jaunt?
We're expecting to go and deal with this gardener. Nothing that I'll care. What am I talking about? Anything that I wear, I can just get a new one. I probably have an American outfit, something that like a railway owner might have, just a nice suit, maybe a bolo tie and the like.
Watch chain with several fobs.
Yes. What do you think, Ellie? Do I look authentic?
It's a choice.
Perfect. Wonderful.
I think
Seems awful buttoned down for you, though.
Well, I figure that the buttons will come off bit by bit as we go throughout the rest of the evening.
What? What kind of boots is Felix wearing?
Cowboy boots.
Of course. Oh, she gods. As you clomp down the stairs and Ellie is watching you do this, I think you hear a ring at the door. Ding 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 ding. I really got to get a bell sound.
I'm already at the foot of the stairs, so I will ostentatiously turn my back on Felix and head over to the door.
When you answer the door, there is a striking redhead at the door, tall, and she is primly has her one hand on the doorbell and the other hand just in front of her, clutching her reticule. The fetching curls are like becomingly gathered at one side of her head, underneath the pert flowered hat in dark colors. And you see the short figure of Miss Pemberton Potts right behind and next to her.
Oh, it, Miss Fletcher, is it?
It is.
Yes, hi. Uh, Mrs. Pemberton Potts, of course.
Yes, certainly. Come in. What brings you at such an hour?
No. I wanted to invite you and, your companion.
Felix
I
will tip the
step
Stetson.
Yes. Mr. Ocasio. Okay. This is my ward, one of my wards, Miss Walton, also my secretary, and wanted to
Please.
invite you to tea. My friend Mother Mallory is also coming to my home for tea.
Now,
Late tea. Yes.
Well, we had actually wished to speak to Mother Mallory.
Oh, how
So,
fortuitous.
what do you think? Can we just combine
accept
the
an
two
invitation?
errands? Yeah.
Yeah.
Delighted.
You had not come to call, so I figured I'd take what's the American expression? Take the bull by the horns and
Yeah.
please, come. I hope you don't mind. I decided not to use the cab. I mean, we're just right down the street. I can walk.
Sure. It's not far. I say, aware that Felix is going to be jangling his way down the pavement, and
Silver spurs. Yup.
You were planning on riding, I see.
What are you talking about?
you're
And
wearing spurs.
Yes, they make noise, so everyone will turn around and see me and see how wonderful my boots are.
and Laurel will, or excuse me, Miss Walton will look down upon your boots and say, "Well, that is quite the choice that you've made, Mr. Ocasio, is it?"
Indeed. If you're going to get dressed up, why not have fun? It's not like it matters anyway.
Does it not? Should
What?
you not have practical sense when you get dressed?
Ah, yes, utility above all else. I see you're a lady without any frills, decor, flavor. Please show us on our way.
Of course. And she will offer an arm to Mrs. Pemberton Potts. I mean, of course, like, very tall, of course, to Mrs. Pemberton Potts, who just kind of like, sidles, very, very tiny next to her. It's the same thing, like, as we saw, like, Jiayi going next to you, Ellie. It was very cute. But yeah, but they'll lead and then, like, lead you down the street to Mrs. Pemberton Potts' home. Yes.
Ellie is being, gracious and friendly, and yeah, of course, there's nothing wrong with this situation. Ever since figuring out the possible meaning of the bouquet that Miss Pemberton Potts brought us at the very first, Ellie's kind of keeping an eye on her. What does she know? Was that coincidence? We don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, would Felix pick up on the pins and needles, especially since Ellie is on tonight?
Ellie is on tonight, and yeah, I think that's practically radiating off her for someone who knows her.
Okay. So we'll kind of fall back a little bit as Miss Pemberton Potts is taking the lead. A lot of tension over a little old lady walking us down the street.
There's something. I feel like there's something we're not getting. Something more going on. I don't know.
She clearly knows who Hargrave House is, and she has no issue with knocking on our door and inviting us to tea. Doesn't seem like she walks in normal circles.
Yeah. And I don't think it's out of ignorance of who and of the possible consequences of palling around with us.
Then what do you need?
I'm just keeping an eye on things, that's all.
Fair enough. And Felix will go and start chatting up the secretary and needling her about being very prim and proper and practical, and everything has to have a point and a purpose.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
I see. And she will say to you, she will like look you up and down and say, "Oh, do you believe yourself in control of this situation, Mr. Ocasio?"
No, your lady is in control. Isn't that the point of hospitality? Unless I've been mistaken about Londoners and their hospitality.
No, you are quite correct. Mrs. Pemberton Potts is well aware of things that are going on.
With Little Blackbirds or with London society in general?
She tries to keep aware of everything within her sphere. Little
And
Blackbirds is because of her association with Mother Mallory.
And is her sphere only among the upper crust, the high class, the people who can afford cushions on their seats?
She is aware of other spheres as well. She is concerned of issues of the day.
Ah, so Limehouses and their ilk as well.
What are you implying, Mr. Ocasio?
I'm implying that your lady is simply very curious and very convenient in her timing and her arrival.
She is a concerned citizen.
Ah, a concerned Londinium citizen, stiff upper lip and all that. Wonderful, commendable.
Your doubt is insulting to my employer.
Doubt? I have said nothing of doubt. She's a little old lady who's leading us to tea. What could possibly be suspicious about that?
It is your
Jingle,
tone.
jangle.
It is your tone that I take offense to.
Very well. I will make sure that my tone is not offensive to you.
And she just raises an eyebrow.
And he will jingle, jangle back over to Ellie.
Ellie.
Yeah.
You get a familiar feeling. And it is not a good feeling. Prickle in the back of your neck. Night move, please.
Ooh. And what am I rolling with?
You are rolling with... Oh, boy.
Please say vitality. Please say vitality.
See, this is more sensitivity because it has to do
That's
with
fair.
magic.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're going to see as, like, you know, Felix makes his way back to you, Jingle Jangle, that there is going to be some, and you may or may not realize it's like, it's all right. It's okay for a little while. That there's going to be some blood that looks like it's going to make its way, like, you know, through Felix's shirt. If you don't do something about it.
Oh my, well, I got a 9.
Okay.
So, this
Yeah.
isn't going to go ideally, but, this is,
Yeah, Felix, as you're making your way towards Ellie, it's like you start feeling like this kind of itchy feeling that starts to maybe feel a little bit more painful. And you realize that there's like blood, like a blood stain blooming on your shirt. And she's looking at you like she's very aware. And it's like a slow-mo montage of, like, you know, reaching for you as, you know, maybe you feel like something trying to claw its way out of your chest.
Oh.
yeah, okay. I'm going to, whip out, this is Ellie, it's a bandana. Whip out kerchief from my pocket and try to quickly, like, shove my hand inside your jacket to stuff it into your pocket, into your shirt pocket to try to staunch it and keep it out of sight. Um, while looking at you like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I hmm. So something is actively trying to dig its way out of my chest right now.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. Is there any way that I can suppress it?
Yes.
Like,
Night move,
okay,
please.
with
Sensitivity.
So it's not an okay. All right. Hold on. What can I do here?
You can personal quarters an item to try and, like, you know, mitigate this somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark the beautifully engraved silver snuff box with snuff and rose petals as just a quick little purification ritual. Uh, in the desperate hopes that my 0 and sensitivity won't get in my way. And that is 2d6 plus 0. Oh, 3d6. And then take the high. What do we got? That is a 10.
Nice. Okay.
Just a snuff box up.
Okay. So I'll have you, like, resolve that, like, you know, in the next round. All right. So we're gonna go over to Mordecai and Jiayi. I mean, like, your companions are delayed for some freaking reason. God knows. I mean, like, Felix is getting dressed again. You know how this goes. But you make it over to Little Blackbirds. And like, what's the plan here? Are you planning on tackling Nora right away? What's the deal?
I mean, Nora is your, you are acquainted with Nora, are you not, Jay?
Indeed, I see no reason to delay it if Felix and Ellie are going to talk to Miss Mallory.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. Let's proceed. Lead the way, please.
Of course.
I will give you a little kind of almost bow, so, and let you step through the door first. Maybe holding it open.
I think as you enter into Little Blackbirds, Mordecai, I think you recognize that where you saw the body was being kept, you notice somebody new going towards that back room. Like, you catch a long duster coat, like, going towards that back room. You don't recognize, like, it doesn't look like one of the escorts. It doesn't look like a patron that was here before.
Interesting. I think I will go and see where this I will join you later, Jiayi. I mean, unless you are curious as well.
I'm always curious, but I suppose I'll have a fun story to look forward to. I do not imagine Nora will be any trouble.
No, I don't think so either. At least not for you.
Oh, then, follow a mystery.
Okay, I will follow my mystery.
Okay. So, Mordecai, you follow this person. I mean, like, all you see is, like, the silhouette because it's not very well lit, like, in these back rooms. I mean, obviously, because, yeah. And then finally, when you, you know, see them stop, you notice that they have, like, some sort of medical bag with them, and they put it down when they get to the body, and you hear them murmur something in German.
Oh,
Gott im Himmel.
well.
And then they proceed to roll up their, like, you know, take off the duster jacket, and then, like, you know, just proceed to roll up their sleeves, and then start to take instruments out of their bag.
I think I will enter the room and close the door behind me. I am not trying to be sneaky.
No, that's fine. And like, he turns to look and you see this uncommonly handsome young man with spectacles on and sorry, descriptions. Has a square jaw, spectacles, and yeah. Oh, hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I am Dr. Hotze. I am sent by Mrs. Pemberton Potts. I believe you are one of
I
Hagrid's
am
house.
acquainted with Mrs. Pemberton Potts, yes, indeed. I am Mordecai Laurence. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Pleased. Yes.
It is a Felix. Dr. Holtz, I think.
Hotze.
I see.
She asked me to look at this body.
Did you know? Interesting. I am a fellow researcher. Would you mind me looking at your process?
I'm sorry.
About what?
I mean, like, I'm sorry. I like out of character. It's like I missed what you said.
Yes, okay. I am a fellow researcher. Would you mind me looking at your process? I must admit that I find myself intrigued.
Oh, not at all. Ah, yes. And like, he proceeds to, like follow through with the whole like, examination process. It's like, and then like, he looks a bit more concerned than usual. And then like, he'll explain like each of the bits that he's doing with like the instruments that he has. I mean, like kind of like what is it? Prodding through and then like showing like the like, like the the parts that he's uh you know like examining, and it's like the whole exsanguination thing. It's like so and this is and like explaining the process and whatever, and the this is going to be very difficult to explain, Gil.
Oh, well, I mean, is it? He had a tree grow out of him, which drank his blood. That is not that hard to explain, do you think?
Is that the explanation?
Is it not?
So,
What would your explanation be here?
if you're going to explain it like that, then yes. But if you're going to explain it more mundanely, then no.
Well, more mundanely, he clearly ate something, maybe disagreed with him. Or I would actually leave that to the person who has to get rid of this.
Huh. Indeed. I just await orders. If I am to dispose of the body or leave it to other authorities.
Well, in that case, I will leave you to it. And go and see what my compatriot is up to. It was a pleasure making your acquaintance.
Pleasure. I'm sure we will meet again, Herr Laurence.
Yes. And then I will make my way out, like, what is this dude up to? But he was just doing the normal stuff you do with a corpse if you're a doctor kind of guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I am a little bit bewildered, but otherwise fine. I will not cackle because that is not my nature, and I will go and find Jiayi.
Okay. Jiayi, you're heading to Nora's room usually, or I mean, like their shared the shared quarters and stuff.
Yeah, unless I have a better idea of where she usually is at this time. But I assume she's not gardening in the
No,
night.
no,
So
she's not gardening in the night. However, I think you're gonna get to the shared rooms, and I think one of the other escorts is
I
going.
imagine most of them would be working right now.
Yeah, I mean, like they're in the entertaining rooms, like
Mhm.
you hear Fitz playing for somebody, like maybe the other entertaining rooms are occupied for the most part, and I think one of them recognizes you, and then just kind of like just waves you down and says, um, uh, Miss Zhao, Michelle, like you don't know her name or whatever,
Yes.
and just
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for Nora, she went up to the rooftop garden, actually.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And then I'll go to the rooftop garden.
yep. That is a place we have not been to yet. Mhm. Okay, so let's see. The rooftop garden. Rooftop terrace, sorry. The rooftop terrace has a room. Has room and tables for parties with a sheltered awning and a view that most of London would envy had they known about it. So paint the scene. Given how you feel about London, does it feel open or empty, looking out over the city and beyond from this viewpoint? And this is a paint the scene for everyone. I will paste this into the chat in a minute.
I think it depends on where you're standing. There are corners of it that are uh they have uh a balcony or a set of planters along the edge of a railing. And if you're standing there with the lush flowers and such in front of you, uh it gives the feeling of being on a beautiful balcony or whatever, and in the city, part of the city. The parts of the terrace that don't have that bit in front of you feel kind of exposed. At least that's how Ellie would see it.
I think Felix looking over the city from this point of view, it feels empty for how big the city has grown over the centuries. It used to be just this small port town for trade, and it had a lot more life. Here now it's sprawled out and there's more people, but all the same, it's all stratified and filthy and grungy. It feels like a shell of what a city should be.
As Chai enters and she kind of glances, a look of disgust will pass over her face. It feels like looking at like oozing fungi or an oil spill or a poison that just keeps spreading, a blight that will not be contained. And like all of you can see even now, like the smog from the factories, the mist like billowing over the city. even up into the air where the buildings cannot reach. It poisons everything.
Contrast, when Mordecai later on reaches this garden and looks out over the city, I think he sees a little more than just the physical, but also the spiritual, and that feels open wide with possibility. All these things, these thoughts, these dreams that are all over London, but still, if you know what you're seeing, if you know what you're doing, you can almost paint a diagram of whatever people are feeling, of whatever fads and fashions are wafting, and whatever religion things. Mordecai loves this. This to him feels so open. There are so many possibilities, and also there's always a way of a way of exiting the situation. So it's all good.
Yeah, when you get up here, Jiayi, and you're just kind of like, ugh, gross. Nora is on one of these benches at a table, and she is under one of the awnings with her back to you and looking out. And yeah, she's just kind of sitting there, and she doesn't move even when you approach.
Hello, flower.
When she turns her face to you, now her hair is back. Like, she looks like she's dressed to work, right, as an escort. So her hair is back and up in a done bun, and she's looked like she's like in her best dress and everything. You can see her ears, and when she turns to you and then gets into the light, you can start to see something growing out of her ear. It looks like a tendril, a root.
Does it talk to you now even when you're awake?
And she just looks at you with these sad eyes. I hear it.
Yes, but you weren't meant to.
I've heard it for a while now.
Would you like it to go quiet again?
Used to pretend all the flowers talked to me when I was young. It was nice.
What does it say now? Is it no longer nice?
No. Doesn't say the same things.
Of course not. Now it actually says something and not just what you wanted to do.
No. Right now it says something very, very different.
What does it say?
And she gets up, and she starts to advance upon you, Jiayi.
It says that you don't belong here, Jiayi.
And she brings up her hands as she starts to advance upon you.
Oh, not any more than it belongs here, I assume.
And there's a look in her eye that I think you start to see something moving in her sclera.
I think her expression will turn seriously and say, "Really? You will say that to me? You wish to speak about banishment? About who belongs where? You want to draw the boundaries? Then be aware that two can play that game." And I think Jiayi like not at Nora, but offended by the forest telling like, "Oh, I can be here, but you can't." Like, bitch, no. Hey, don't do that. That's double standards. I will try to get it out of her and yeet it back.
Ooh, yeet it back. All right, cool.
Yeah,
What do you
no,
want
if
to
it's gonna be rude about it.
What do you want to do?
Um, I think, I mean, night move with sensitivity probably, or
Okay.
maybe like like sort of setting the stage, I assume, for Mordecai. If we
To
want to do
come,
that, Sabine,
right.
with
Sure,
like
sure.
salt and rights of smoke and salt, like literally has a banish option.
Sure,
So I
sure.
assume that basically what Chiai is doing is like I'm already like kind of getting that ready and maybe setting like the stage for it.
Sure.
And then because at this point Chiai also kind of has to keep under wraps what her powers
Yes.
are. So I kind of
Yes.
like the idea that I was gonna do it, and then maybe we have a scene of like Mordecai coming in and Chiai being like, "Oh, Mordecai, you're here. Thank God."
Exactly.
Just would have never worked.
So this is right. It's like night move. Yeah. Like, so night move, like
Yeah.
sensitivity for this.
Yeah.
So want to roll. Let's see what you get, and then we're gonna resolve it once we come back. So
Absolutely. With sensitivity, that is an 8.
okay. All right. Okay. We'll resolve that when we come back. Mike. Describe Act 1 in which a mad scientist discovers his wife is having an affair with another man.
We see the mad scientist stumble into the laboratory, and his assistant, this Igor-looking figure, comes over to help him up. And we see this gesticulating as he's describing the scene. And off to the side, we see two other actors, man and a woman, describing or sort of pantomiming the discovery of the affair. And we see that the mad scientist is clearly distraught. He's knocking over the papers. He's erasing mass parts of the blackboard, and he tears his shirt in grief. And then we fade to black.
All right. So, back to back to Felix and Ellie. All right. So, Felix, we're back to you with a 10. How does your mini ritual save you from having a vampire's hand tear out of your chest?
I tear off the shirt and cover my chest in rose petals and snuff, and then have Ellie's kerchief just stuffed under the bow tie as I would an ascot, and I play it off as a aesthetic choice, as the snuff and rose petals cover any sort of blood that would seep out. It numbs the area. It just, with a hissed word, suppresses whatever was trying to break through. He doesn't know magic like Mordecai, but you learn a couple of tricks over the centuries.
I think of course, Mrs. Pemberton Potts and Miss Walton, notice the delay and probably hear your spurs, doing some kind of weird little dance as you're doing whatever you're doing, and it's like,
Is there a problem, Mr. Ocasio? Miss Fletcher?
I was too buttoned up. It was too cloying, too American. I needed to make it more European. And closing the jacket, no undershirt, just a little kerchief. Please lead on. We have tea, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. Here is my door.
and yeah, I mean, like all houses on Belgrave Square, grand, very grand, double doors, and of course like flowers, I don't know if they actually do this, but I mean like a flower wreath, on the door, and she she will enter in. Well, Maglasang will open up the door and let you all in.
And just a hissed word to Ellie. What the dummy was that?
No idea.
Okay. Well, not sure I'll be able to do that again. So just.
And as you enter in, it's like Maglasang will let Mrs. Pemberton Potts know that her guest has arrived, and you see in the sitting room that there's Mother Mallory. So
Please forgive the late tea. I understand that you all have been out and about, and I just wanted to make sure that I caught you. This was a perfect opportunity.
And then Mother Mallory sees you, Felix, and is like, "Oh, we are well acquainted."
Oh?
Yeah, well, I realize my associate didn't make the best impression
Oh.
when you met before, but he is of Hargrave House and has been most involved in this investigation.
Has he?
Despite your offense to me, despite your rude behavior to me,
Excuse me?
I have spent time and effort to provide a solution to this problem.
We have spent time and effort.
We have spent time and effort finding a solution to this problem.
How wonderful! Maglasang, please, bring all the things here. I'm all tenterhooks to hear.
And of course, like, the spread, and then, she's she's like really on the edge of her seat to hear everything, Mrs. Pemberton Potts, and she's making sure that everybody has something in their hand, and just
please let us know what's so.
Now this is a sensitive matter.
Of course.
Mother Mallory, if you wish to restrict the number of people hearing this, I understand. Not that I'm trying to kick our hostess out, obviously, but I'm sort of glancing toward the secretary, like, is this one person too many, or do you trust this person implicitly, or what? Just checking in with Mother Mallory on whether she wants more discretion for this conversation or not.
And she will look back at you, Ellie, and she will say, "I trust the judgment of Mrs. Pemberton Potts. She has been
All right.
instrumental in keeping this as quiet as possible for the reputation of Little Blackbirds."
Makes sense. Okay. Well, the thing is, we've kind of got two answers for you. What actually happened, and a potentially more
Cleaner solution.
publicly palatable.
I see.
One of them, the truth is that one of your employees,
No.
but it was not intentional murder.
Foolish, yes, but not intentional.
Interfering with powers poorly understood. However, we do have a possible answer that might be better for the reputation of Little Blackbirds, and would and a way of eliminating certain inconvenient evidence, potentially. The latter is, if you'll pardon the indelicacy, Wood is flammable. So are bodies.
I have my ward, Dr. Holzer, ready and waiting for an order as needed.
Good. I met Dr. Holzer the other night, actually.
Yes, he's one of my wards.
Interesting fellow. I don't want to say sacrificial lamb.
Patsy, scapegoat, mastermind, if you would.
Mr. Morton Casing.
He wasn't even there.
He was supposed to be, by his own admission.
He was not seen to be there. But a sufficiently motivated person might be able to sneak into the house.
And what would the motivation be?
Love.
Really?
A cloying,
Lady Sarah.
passionate love of our new widow, yes.
Oh. That's right. She was there. She was there that night.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I was not aware that they had relations.
I'm not sure how reciprocated that was.
Very unlikely.
I gather that she looked on him with some degree of favor. But I don't know whether it was in fact an affair. But his strength of feeling could well have driven him to do something desperate.
It is always likely, Mallory. I mean, you see this kind of thing happen in books all the time. Of course.
Well,
And if it is a client, and not a titled client at that, that is surely more palatable for your reputation.
What
true.
a story you can sell the police.
That is the larger concern. Yes.
Yes. How convenient that someone is able to find someone who is a patron, who had a motive and an opportunity. Ellie, who could have done such a wondrous thing?
It was Felix who found out that Mr. Casing had such an interest and familiarity with the house.
And so you see, like I asked that first time we met, there was a secret within your own home that we did find, and yet we're willing to look the other way.
I thank you, Mr. Ocasio, for your discretion in your investigation. And Mrs. Pemberton Potts is just almost hopping in her seat saying,
Oh, this is wonderful. You have knowledge of the truth, and now you have, well, I mean, it's not the best for Mr. Casing, of course, but you have a solution. It's just a choice now, I guess. I mean, what would you like to do, dear?
I do not want one of my employees to be found at fault. You say it is accidental that she did this.
Supposedly.
I think it was.
All I need is the order. All I need is maybe go ahead.
The choice is yours. Truth or fiction?
Jiayi, with your 8, tell me what this looks like as you.
We forgot to do what are you afraid could happen and how is it worse than that? So to set the stakes.
I know, but I did that. I forgot to do it for everybody's night move, so I'm just like fudge. How it's
Yeah,
worse? I
I
mean,
mean,
like it's going to basically expose you. I mean, it's good. Like like when Mordecai comes up. I mean, like you're the way it's worse is that you're gonna get exposed, and yeah, Mordecai could reveal. I mean, would that? I mean, okay. Well, is it worse for you if you are revealed to Mordecai as something that he could hunt?
that feels like a miss condition for me, not a
Okay,
7 to 9 one.
right.
I was going to say what I'm afraid of happening is that Nora doesn't survive this.
Okay.
That we can banish it, but like the vessel that's being used. Because I like set it up like her specifically, kind of knowing that Mordecai is going to happen. Like it feels weird to me that she would, and like how would that reveal she's a fox? So I think it's more like basically me like trying to hide it and like giving Mordecai that time he comes in too late to save Nora
Okay.
is I think the consequence that to me makes the most sense here.
Sure.
And if I hadn't waited, maybe I could have like again, maybe that's not a 7 to 9, but like that would have been my answer to set the stakes.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think what we see is I assume she's trying to like is she trying to kill me or is she trying to like put something in Jiayi to also make her like forest mind controlled or like what is she actually trying to do here?
Yeah, I think it's like, you'll start to see that like, through her hands, it's like you're going to start to see like the root tendrils like start to come out of the fingertips as well. So maybe like,
Hmm.
she's reaching out for you and like will try to embed something in you as well. Not
Hmm.
not re like remember, she's just the vessel, so she's not necessarily like the forest is not necessarily thinking it's like, oh, this is, something that they can't, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, I
influence as
think
well.
we will see like Chai sort of like, duck under and like try to evade. And I think she will say, like, I think maybe at one time, like, I grab her arm and kind of like twist it
Mm-hmm.
behind her back to sort of control her moves like that.
Yep.
And as I do, I lean over and like to the tendril, but it looks maybe if Mordecai enters, it looks like I'm whispering in her ear, but like, it's like to the tendril that I will say, she is not yours. She made a mistake and you do not get to claim her for it. And I will sort of like push her to the ground and look up if Mordecai enters and just say, banish it now. There's no more time.
And I assume that is when Mordecai enters, right? Or has he watched this going on for a while?
I'll
Yeah,
leave that up to you, but I think that's like a very cool, like
I
cinematic
think
way.
that's a
Yeah.
pretty cinematic thing to come in on.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will do the cinematic thing and enter when this thing is like fighting and she yelled, Jiayi has to banish it and Mordecai's like,
You see you see like these are not dried tendrils. These are not
"Mm,
like dead things. These are like, moving branches or like moving
mm,
like ropey tendrils coming out of Nora's ears as well as
oh,
fingertips. That
okay. That
Jayi is
does
like,
not sound very healthy.
nope. Nope.
Okay, then I will attempt to actually do the right of thing and other thing.
Salt and smoke.
Salt and smoke, yes, that's the word. That's what I think. Salt and smoke. Okay, to bar a place, a portal to a specific person or creature. Banish a spirit or curse from the person. Yeah, I want to banish this spirit from the person. And let's see where I will get it to, right? because I will attempt to have, I think you said that there were flower, like pots and things like that.
Yeah, but Nora did all this stuff herself.
Yeah, very good. So I will take a flower pot, a reasonably large one, and some gardener's shears, and say, well, in you go, dear, to the thing, and then I will attempt to get my spirits to come on, guys. Get this in here, please.
Roll with sensitivity.
Yep. Let me check my quarters if I have something interesting here that can help me. Oh, I have the boutonnieres of Tansy and Foxglove. I think I will use that as a lure. I'll use that as a lure.
Yep. Wait a second. Do you have anything that I need to put against you?
I don't think
Nope.
I have any condition.
Nope. So this is purely with advantage. Purely with advantage.
It's kind of nice. That's my sensitivity though. That's not.
So.
Okay, let's see how that goes. Well, it's an 8. It's a 9. That's a 9.
Wait, 3d6. Take the 2 highest plus
4 plus 4 plus 1. It's 9.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So
I am the wrong person. Of course, I'm the wrong person. Go away, Aldrin. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I got a 9 for that. So that means either I can put on a mask, or I can find my move. I can take a complication, right?
Yep.
Ooh, yes. I think I'm going with either I take a condition or the magic has a problematic side effect. But I think I would take the condition instead of the problematic side effect, because I don't think I want, because I have the feeling that the problematic side effect would be to have something to do with Nora. And I don't want that. I think she's interesting. She has potential. I want a student, so.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I will take a condition that you can make up.
Well, I mean, I'll I want to hear what this ritual looks like with your entities.
With my entities, yes. I think the entities will start moving through me, and I think they might be kind of or sort of inspired by whatever the thing is doing with Nora. I think my ears will start bleeding. And you can see some bruises appear along the jawline, because that's where they're moving around. Mordecai is making this face like, yep, this is the headache. No, I don't like this headache, but well, anyway. And then they will jump to Nora and the tendrils, and you will again see these weird smear of silvery light, and you can see it might be light, but it doesn't actually illuminate anything. It's just like strange. It will envelop these tendrils and start dragging them towards the pot and just jamming them into it, like binding them with the tansy and with binding them with the boutonniere into this pot. Yeah, you can see the tendrils trying to whip out of the earth of the pot, but well, it's pretty ineffective.
I will give you the condition after we come back. Jazy, describe Act 2, in which the mad scientist kidnaps his wife's lover and uses an experimental technique to take over his mind.
I think the scene of like the kidnapping is pretty short. It's very much just that we see that actor like walking. Just I might have missed who the lover was. It is a he, or did we? Okay, I don't know. Maybe we made it gay when I wasn't listening. That happens. Yeah, I think we just like see that actor like walking, and we see like a very like dramatic, like kind of over the top, like the figure like looms up. The light gets like turned on him, and he does like a very dramatic grab. He will let's do the echo. He will like grab the wrist and like drag him off the podium like that. Very, very dramatic. But then we sort of cut to like the next part of the stage where that man is like bound to a chair and he's struggling and trying to protest, trying to promise that he'll never see her again. He realizes now what he's done, that it was a mistake. That he he's so sorry for what he's done, like all of that, but the scientist isn't listening. And instead he just cackles over something as he says, "Finally, it's finished." And he will like pull something up, what looks to be like a thorn like branch kind of crown that they've made, like made of twigs, like a sort of headband. But it's not beautiful with flowers. It's like all like gnarly twigs twisting in like unnatural ways, and there's like a little bit of like black paint that's dropping, like it's like oozing like rotten fungi or something like that. Um, he will like very dramatically, the music is swelling, he's like taking his time to cross the stage as he puts it on, and he's like, and before he puts it on he'll say, "You don't know what regret is, but you will." And then he like puts it up and there's like a last like convulsion of struggle, and then the actor just goes completely silent. And then after a beat goes through the theater, he just says, "Tell me what you will of me, master."
And we cut to Mrs. Pemberton Potts' sitting room as you are all drinking the tea and having the sandwiches and cookies and such. Excuse me, biscuits. And Mother Mallory considers the choices, and she looks from you, Ellie, and to you, Felix, and then says, as she leans forward, "Question: is there enough evidence to make sure that Mr. is it Mr. Casing will be able to be, what's the word? Will take blame for this?"
A confession wouldn't be enough?
Oh, he has confessed.
Not yet. But I'm sure if you were to set it so that Lady Brookmead would be the one to take the blame, being a patron who was there, who did have an opportunity, who was in an unhappy marriage, rumored, I think he would be willing to throw himself on the sword to save his lady love.
I see.
And I'm sure you can find some untitled letters of steamy ardor declaring his affections and adding his name or whatever else. Surely you have something like that lying around in Little Blackbirds.
Or indeed persuade him to write some as part of his confession,
She
if
just
need be.
she just laughs a little and then will say, "Believe me, it is found a lot more often than you think." And Mrs. Pemberton Potts will actually giggle a little and say,
It's something out of a novel.
You look like you're trying to find an excuse not to implicate.
"I
more.
just want to make sure that if this is going to happen, it will happen. I don't want it returning back to my employee or my inn."
Yeah. As my associate says, we have the means to put pressure on Mr. Casing to aid the police in their inquiries?
Or, if you like, perhaps they don't need to be involved at all. If Lord Brookmead's body happens to disappear, perhaps he is away yet again.
As she looks away, quite casually, and drinks her tea, quite genially.
If that is an outcome that Lady Sarah will accept, being apparently abandoned, that might be the simplest.
Yes, these widows seem to accept their lot in life, don't they?
All these expeditions, it's simply too much.
Yes, simply
Indeed.
too much.
And how fortunate for her that there's a place she can go for some comfort in her widowhood. Not, of course, that that is to be publicly acknowledged ever, but
Mrs. Pemberton Potts will actually lean over and like put a hand on Mother Mallory's and say,
You've created a wonderful spot there. Take credit where credit is due.
and Mother Mallory will say, well, if it is, as you say, something that is sure, then I think I would prefer that solution.
makes sense, and it is up to you.
As as we like cut right over back to the scene over it.
Very polite conversation over to kill it.
Kill
Cash it out!
Kill it! How does the tendril fight work out? Like, wrap up. I'm sorry. It's just so funny. Let's see. Condition. So as you stuff or you lock the tendril, the forest being thing into this one pot, Mordecai, do you think that your entities like kind of come back to you, or do you think that you as you withdraw your attentions from this thing, do you think that you connect to the forest in some way, or do you think it's all your entities doing it? I'm curious.
Oh, I think I have to be with my entities. A part of me goes with them, I guess.
Great. Okay.
So they come back. That there's not a clear separation between me and them, actually.
Okay. All right. I want to know what you're feeling as you're stuffing, what do you think this forest thing, this forest entity is feeling as you're locking it up, locking
I
it
think
away?
something between rage and fear and desperation. It's locked in a pot. It's a forest. It's in a pot. This is not good for it. This is too narrow. Nothing. All the roots are being constrained and kind of like twisting in and of themselves. I think, yeah, desperation probably more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they can't get out.
Yeah. Your condition is it's a too small world.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yep. And yeah, I think Nora's collapsed on the floor between you two. and she's unconscious. And like, maybe like in the wake of the entities being drawn out of her, like maybe you see the residual like drying, withering branches, like, coming out of her ears and her fingertips, but like there's like a little bit of like maybe uh like brown blood, coming from those, or like, those spots. um what do you two do as you
I
see
will
this?
go over to her and see if she is still alive, and if we can get this stuff out of her.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, it's like, it's like you can draw them out. I mean, like, it's like stuff that can be like drawn out of like the places where they were growing, and they're starting
Yeah.
to wither and die anyway.
Yeah, but it's better to get them out now.
Yeah, sure. But she's unconscious and breathing
Yeah.
shallowly.
Okay.
But do you two say anything to each other, like, as you're seeing this?
I think I will pick her up like princess style, to put her to bed, and Jiayi just says, "What a pretty little fool. She should have kept playing pretend."
I need to talk to her when she's awake.
Good for you.
Yes.
What will you say?
I will speak to her about what she tried to do and what she can do and what the price will be.
You want to encourage her to do more of it.
Yes. She has a talent, I think. And also, she does not seem to be intellectually fulfilled by this place.
No. But there is nothing she's going to find in. She like sort of nods at the pot. There's nothing she's going to find there that will fulfill her either.
Probably not. Oh, I'm taking the pot with me.
Yeah, like I imagine like as we're sort of walking, I kind of like just nod.
Still, I think someone like that needs more options than that she has now.
Perhaps. We should plant it in the garden.
Hardwood Fox. I was thinking about that, actually.
Yes, it should be free. It's not its fault that they woke it up.
True. I will have to talk to it first. I don't want it to try and eat Hardwood Fox.
Oh my, you sure do like talking. So many questions for everyone.
Yes, I do, actually.
Does it have potential too?
Of course it does.
Of course it does.
Kathleen, describe Act 3 in which the enthralled man manages to turn on the mad scientist and destroy him. The final scene should be very bloody.
So, the beginning of the act, we see the scientist gloating over the man he now has in thrall, uh, instructing him to do little tasks, cleaning up the mess uh, made earlier when he swept all the things off his work table in his rage, and then instructing him to polish my boots and grovel before me. But as the possessed man bends over his shoes, I think what the scientist does not see, but the audience sees, the scientist is talking about his wife and, you know, her beauty, her charm, the fact that he possesses and controls her. This individual couldn't, it is not worthy, could not possibly. And what the audience sees as his head comes up as he's bending over the boot, is his eyes snap wide open, as if he has been sleepwalking while controlled, but being reminded of his love and of the man he thinks is unworthy of her controlling her. That is enough to break the control. He reaches up, he rips at the crown of thorns on his head, and in addition to the black paint that was running down from it before, the corruption, that is now mingled with crimson blood running down his face. And he flings that aside in a great splatter of gore, surges upward, grabs the scientist, slams him into the table that is now full of broken glassware. And that occasions more spurting. And lunges forward, hands clawed, and reaches into his chest. You know, this is stage effects, kind of corny, but reaches into his chest, wrenches forth beating heart, and holds it in triumph over his head as the gore just cascades. And that is when the curtain drops.
Amazing. And just finally, at any point after that, epilogue for Little Blackbirds. As we, just before the dawn, anything that you want to end with? Final talk with each other or
I
with...
do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Are we okay with me making Nora my lover for hypnotic allure?
Oh noes! Wait!
Yeah.
Wait! Is she gonna be like Mordecai's student too? I mean, like,
Add
how's
that.
work?
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
thinking
sounds perfectly messy.
because we have an in for her to like be a relevant character. I think that
Yeah.
could be a very interesting setup
Yeah.
for conflict.
Oh my god!
I would
If
love
Sabine
that.
agrees.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
absolutely, totally.
Oh,
I don't
Okay,
think
yeah.
Mordecai is interested in her affections in that way.
Oh no! It's
Yeah,
just gonna
it's
be
just
messy.
that eventually I'm basically going to ruin her mind because she's basically going to do what she killed the dude for if we do this, which is also why I want to do it with Nora. But I wasn't actually going to, but then you were like, oh, I want to make her my student. I was like, okay, well now it's interesting again. Now we need
Now
to
it's
get
on.
messy.
I don't think I will like
Love it.
that.
Okay.
Exactly. I hope Mordecai doesn't.
Okay.
So I think what we will see, because the move just requires that I give her something and narrate how I mark her.
Okay.
So I think I imagine that we've taken her then to Hargrave House, and she's in like one of the many rooms.
Yes.
And dawn is breaking. She's waking up. I think we just see like a scene. I imagine it's like, like there's no dialogue, but there's just like, this ominous but like darkly romantic like piano and string music playing, like that sort of vibe. And even like the light, it's like it is like starting to be lighter, but it's still like very dim. We see like the motes, like the dust motes sort of filtering through the window, like very ominously dreamy. Like, like that kind of flashback where it's so dreamy and romantic, you're just like, oh, this person is dying. Like this is a dying flashback of a person. Like it's got that kind of vibe.
I think she even asks something like, am I dead?
No, I think like this is more like an audience thing, but I
Okay.
think Jiayi will just like smile and like shake her head and say, no, you're all right. And I think we see her like sit up and I will give her I think maybe she's like sort of still flushed with like a fever-like experience. And I will give her my fan, my Chinese fan for her to like fan herself with. And I think like as I sort of lean down to kiss her forehead, like very sweetly, as she leans back down, I think like again, she doesn't see this, but the audience does. As the light hits her, her shadow for just a second looks like it sprouts a tail. And that is how I mark her. And I will give her
Amazing.
my fan.
Amazing. Oh my God. Okay. So, Enigma at Little Blackbirds is resolved. Okay. So, you guys get two things. You guys get the custom move of Forest Sense. So, gonna plug this in here. I'm gonna plug this into the Zoom chat, and you are welcome to remind me. I will try to fit this into the Discord. Whatever.
I can reformat it on the character builder.
Perfect.
So.
Thank you. So, this custom move allows a hunter to see intent behind natural symbols presented, the language of flowers, the emotion behind a particular environment. Whenever you touch, listen to, or experience something of nature, roll with sensitivity. On a hit, you may ask a single question regarding what you touched, listened to, or experienced, and the keeper may answer with as much or as little detail as they wish, providing it in the form of a clue if they so choose. On a 7 to 9, they also gain the condition Forest for the Trees. On a 10 plus, no condition or backlash. On a miss, the keeper may choose to obscure their answer or mislead with false information. That's one. All right.
Just for comfort reasons, I'm fine with the false information, but then I, as a player, do want to know that that is not correct information. Like, I
Correct.
can still play it like Jiayi believes that this is true,
Sure.
but I, Jazy, want to know that what you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to say is
Absolutely
not true. Yeah.
No, that's perfectly fine. Just remind me to make sure that that is disclosed. Okay. And I will do that for you for sure. Okay. And then the other thing was, just remember, everybody's got the Mask of the Sharpened Glade to still do. Okay. And then rewards. Everybody gets rewards. So pick from the list a quartz crystal shard that seems to have a faint glow added to your personal quarters. A Camilla, pressed between the pages of an erotic poetry book, added to your personal quarters. A stained handkerchief doused with heady perfume, added to your personal quarters. 3 blackbird feathers, add them to your personal quarters. A memento from the investigation, ask another hunter or the keeper what it is, and add it to your personal quarters. So choose from that list. What would you like?
I think I would like the Camellia.
Okay.
Because I have the poetry book, so feels like I just found it there and kept it when I returned it.
I read that one and was like, I mean, that's obviously for Mordecai.
Yeah. I will return it after I've done a reading in Hargrave House.
I mean, I like the way that it's phrased. You could also keep the poetry book, right? It doesn't have to be about the camellia. That
Yeah,
could just be like your bookmark.
Yeah, right, exactly. It could be
No,
both.
I like the butler. The butler was very professional, so I like to return the favor, but I will keep the camellia because the camellia means something in whatever flower language it means. I will refer to Kathleen for the explanation.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I will keep the camellia.
The camellias mean longing for you.
Yes, exactly.
I think I want the feathers.
Okay, go for it.
I would like a memento. Mordecai.
I think you will keep the dice that you blew on. I think maybe if that's okay with you, Jazy, maybe Jiayi left them and you just took them because they were like they had little fox heads on the pips on the 6.
Oh, awesome.
I like the idea that these weren't hers. Like she literally just like stole those from someone else and then have
sure.
Felix steal them from her.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's just like that circle, circle
I
of
mean,
life.
shoplifting is her vice. We don't have to stop at shoplifting, just steal anything. I would also like a memento. Kathleen, why don't you give me one?
How about a potted flower from the rooftop garden? It is in fact one of those beautiful night blooming devil's trumpets.
Some reason my personal quarter items are like in a very, very light gray that I cannot change the color of. So that's
I don't
not
know
gonna
why.
help me ever use them, but they exist.
Don't know why.
I'm just gonna use them to collect some lovers over the course of this game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why.
But now she needs to go, she needs to lose her mind before I can have another one.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened.
That is weird.
It's fine. I can read them. It's just like a little bit more
Conditional
effort.
formatting got messed up, I guess, when things got transferred over. But anyway, let's go over real quick the hunters. Since we've reached dawn, let's go through dawn phase real quick, please. I just want to make sure that you guys are covered. Dawn. There we go. Rewards, dawn questions. Let's go. Right. All right, American. Answer a question. Yes. Resolve a threat. Yes. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Oh, I don't know that I did. I did. I kind of worked backwards in that the blood dripping down from Nora's
Take it.
ears
Take it.
was echoed by the
Yeah.
the blood from the crown.
Absolutely.
That
take it.
counts. That's also a way to do it. If like
Absolutely.
something happens, you put it in later.
Yeah,
that totally
absolutely.
counts.
Take it.
Good.
Yeah. Did you encourage a fellow hunter to let loose for a change?
No, I should have been thinking about that when I had my vulnerable scene with Mordecai, but I was too busy trying to keep Felix from letting loose too much when we're talking to, people outside her great house.
Did you use violence to solve a problem?
I did during the day when I flung the vampire off me.
Perfect. All right, so take those points and add them to your XP track, clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective dawn questions if you so choose. All right. All right, Felix. You answered a question, resolved a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Yes. Felix's tearing of his shirt echoing the tearing in grief by the scientist.
Perfect. Did you express a clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane?
Slapping Morton's money out of his hand. Give me what
Yup.
makes you beautiful.
Did you appear in London society wearing risque or avant-garde fashion?
Twice.
Yes. All right, go ahead and take those points. Put them in your XP track and then clear your dawn questions, changing your elective dawn questions if you so choose. Vessel. Answered a question, resolved a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
I did. I think I saw the diagram in the spirit thingies. So yeah.
Okay. Did you counsel someone using your supernatural affinities as the basis for that advice?
I actually did this with Mother Mallory back when, but that was before this down phase, so I think it counts.
Yep, it's fine. Did you have a face-to-face encounter with a dark entity?
Yep.
Okay.
The tree forest thing.
Yep. Go ahead and take those points and then put them in your XP track, clear your dawn questions, and change your elective ones if you so choose.
Okay.
And then finally, Fox. Answered a question, resolved a threat. Did you experience an echo in the night?
Several even. I echoed the like grabbing of the wrist. And then like Jiayi likening London to like oozing fungi and poison, and then having that on a twig, and also like the tendrils and the twig crown.
Perfect. Did you lament about the way things used to be?
Yeah, I think both in this session and the last, more prominently the last, I think I don't think that was that with Sunny
Yeah, was.
or like with someone, or like I think it was, yeah, like basically about like they're, humans are bringing this thing into the world, and there used to be space for it and now there's not, and now like they're mad about it even though they're encroaching
Yeah.
on its territory.
Sure.
And it didn't used to be that way.
Okay.
Or there used to be. And I think sort of again with looking over at London and being like, there should have been nature here, and now there's just like factories and shit, and that's not how it should be and used to be.
Okay. Did you hide your true feelings for someone beneath lies and misdirection?
Yeah, honestly, to everyone all the time. I think like specifically, I think at the end with Nora and Mordecai, calling her like a pretty little fool who shouldn't interact with this, I think was very much like her hiding the fact that she realized she would have really cared if Nora had died here, and that she didn't like that something else was trying to take her and like not be careful of her mind and her agency. And she's like trying to hide that on there, like, oh, I don't care, it's all fine. And with Ellie and like Felix as well, just sort of the like, oh, I don't care, this is all fun, but having maybe more emotions under that she wants to admit.
Sure. Go ahead and take those points, put them in your XP track, and then clear your dawn questions, and then change your elective ones if you so choose. All right? So we have our Mask of Sharpened Glade that we can do in the very beginning of next session. Hopefully everybody's here. I haven't checked the session tracker to see if that is a date that everybody will be here, but we'll go as we go. Just let me know if you're not. And then I don't know if you have time to stop for Stars and Wishes. If not, then go ahead and stick them in the Discord chat. But if you can, then stay, and we'll just commence. So yeah, great. This was a really fun session. Sorry that it was like, come on, Night Phase, let's go. But we had a lot to do, so I mean, I don't blame you one damn bit for it going as well as it did. So yeah, whomever wants to start. So.
Yeah, I can start. Star for Mike for that scene with Jiayi. I really like the description of like Felix basically just owning the dog and a whistle now by sheer force of personality. I thought that was a really fun description. And then just like that whole conversation of like being tired of the answer more so than the question. While also kind of hinting like that isn't fully it, but not like wanting to say like what it is that bothers him about it, which I thought to me like kind of made it look like Felix himself doesn't fully know like what it is that annoys him so much about all of this, but there's like something that's just like not quite entertaining enough that I thought was very interesting. I love the cowboy outfit. That was a very undeniable moment. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna like be high fashion and also mock my friend in a credible. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I liked that a lot. That was really fun. For Kathleen, yeah, I love Ellie just continuing being like the only responsible one who's like actually doing a job here. I do think it's very interesting because you do have that Dawn question of like encourage someone to let loose, but whomst? They're already cutting loose all the time. So I'm really like, I guess that's sort of a wish, but I'm really interested to see. Because I do want you to like have that question, and I'm like absolutely convinced you're going to find a really creative answer for it. But I'm like really interested, and also like a wish for everyone else. Like, what would be a moment where like these big personalities hesitate, and Ellie comes in to maybe be like, this is fine. A little temptation is fine in this regard. or maybe it's not temptation. Maybe it's about actually giving a fuck, which is also letting loose in a way for these characters. So that would also be really interesting. I really liked like Ellie just like trying to smooth everything over. But also you describing her being like very like, I don't know about this little lady anymore. I don't know what this is, but I don't love it. And then the ending description of like the crown being ripped off in the blood, I thought that was very cool. And Sabine, yeah, I loved Mordecai just going to the doctor and being like, "What are you doing?" And then being like, "Ugh, no, this is not interesting enough. You do you, I guess." And then just walking off again was very funny to me. Just like that curiosity, but then also like the disinterest at the same time, which I feel like is very Mordecai. Like it just feels like so him, which I thought was very interesting to like sort of play that character. Um, I love that immediately he was like, yeah, Nora is my apprentice now. And I really like the reasoning that you gave. Like, oh, there should like I just want to give options because she doesn't seem like she likes the way that she's living now. Which might be a white lie, which might be the truth, but I thought that was a very interesting reasoning. Yeah, wishes. Yeah, I mean, as I stated earlier, I'm interested to do more lurker stuff and see what comes up next. And I really do want us to get like a really punchy night scene, like night phase, at some point, just like a really action-packed, because this was like a lot of talking, which like happens when you roll a 13, right? But I really want like probably with the lurker, like a more punchy one where it's just like scene, bam, 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 let's go. Because I really like those kind of night phases.
Yeah, I can go next. I like the session. I love the way we answered the question. I love the freewheeling discussion. There were a lot of good suggestions from all around. So yeah, good rolls too. Thank you, Witch Dice. I guess. And other than that, I love the scene with Felix with the spurs clanging, clanging, and then suddenly starting to bleed. I don't even know what that's about, but I'm very curious to figure that out. I love Mrs. Pemberton Potts. She's just a delight. Evil, probably, but a delight. Still, you know. I really, this is a wish now. I wish for Mordecai to go over and have tea with her, just to see what's going on. Actually, probably. I know she's not mean. She's just like, yeah, and I want to know how many words she has. Anyway, I really like I like seeing Felix being Felix like, yeah, well, okay, fine. This is not really interesting, but I don't have anything better to do with my time. So what do I want? I have no fucking idea. I'm so old. Yeah, poor thing, Felix. And Ellie getting stuck with these characters, that is also always a delight when you can just see the eye rolls. And I like Jiayi with Nora trying to talk the forest down, of course, because we're the same, right? Why are you so antagonistic to me? We are both wild things. Yeah, well, I really like that. So yeah. Basically, what other wish? Oh, I have a wish. We'll talk maybe to you on Slack, not Slack, Discord, about the moves for Mordecai, the Dawn questions, because I have the feeling that he's not someone who runs around and fucks things. That's not his thing, really. And I have two Dawn questions that relate to him fucking something. So I don't know. I don't know about these. Let's talk about it on Discord. So
I appreciated Matt's just slowly building tension with this little old lady who's clearly in the know more, and also presenting an assistant who wants nothing to do with Felix. I'm like 80% sure that he annoyed her to the point of her trying to murder him, which perfect. Looking forward to more encounters. This will be fun. star for Jiayi, opening with the forest and Nora just like, it's okay. The bad humans did something bad. Like, we could be the same. The forest is like, you don't belong here. It's like, whoa, 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 hold on. Do not do that. All right. Gave you a fair shot. Time to banish you. I just liked the idea of the quick turn from being on the monster side to just being personally offended. Also, I think the line "you don't know what regret is, but you will" was like really solid as a line, very dramatic, perfect for the play. And the big star of claiming Nora as the lover because it's messy, because it'll present conflict. I think it's gonna be fun. Related to that, one wish I have is more scenes with this new apprentice, so we can get to know Nora, see what that relationship is like, and then when the coven shows up later, have that like be a, oh, you know, you're not allowed to teach people. That's a bad thing. So that could be fun. And also taking the threat and putting in a flower pot and saying, I'm going to keep this now. This is mine. And then planting it at Hargrave. I think that's going to be fun to come back to. Ellie, Kathleen, thank you for being the straight man to Felix. I know I was being the worst version of Felix, forcing who did this wonderful thing, who is responsible, and force, and you fed into it while remaining professional. Like the whole time you're like, listen, we're just trying to solve a problem, ma'am. Here's your solutions. Forgive my associate. He's just the worst. And I appreciate that. And I also feel like this sort of buddy cop thing where Ellie is perceptive and like able to be even keel and punch things when necessary, and Felix is just there to stir the pot and get people off balance for Ellie to come in. I wish to see more of that. And also kind of what Jiayi was talking about, where that getting someone to loosen up is making people care. Like we were talking about, Felix does not care. He just thinks that everybody wants something from him. And because of that, he keeps everyone away, and trying to encourage some character development would be fun. And then to echo what Sabine was saying with, we didn't settle for the simple, oh no, he was murdered out of jealousy for a relationship. We turned it into like this really eldritch story that was really fun. And then we used it as a cover story. So like the ambiguous, like we're letting the murderer get away, was like a really cool character choice. So I'm looking forward to the next session.
I too really enjoyed our yeah, we sorted it out for the client. You know, we found an ending that is acceptable to the client's needs. Truth, justice, no, that is not relevant here. uh, let's see. I too, and I like the idea of Felix and Ellie deliberately developing this as a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. Um, that we go into a situation acknowledging ahead of time, you're gonna piss them off. I'm gonna settle them down. Uh, that'll be uh that'll be interesting to see how that goes if we decide to openly acknowledge the dynamic. Uh, you're really good at pissing people off. We can use that. Um, but that is a ton of fun. Uh, I really enjoyed Mordecai putting the eldritch big bad into a flower pot is just the best. I love that. It's so no, no. I'm not going to treat you with reverence. I'm not even going to treat you with respect. I'm going to shove you in a little box and you have no choice because I'm in charge here. Uh And this is a thing that cannot possibly have bad repercussions down the line. Not at all. Jiayi, I really like the talk with the forest was great. That was really special, but I felt like it came through uh that your concern was for Nora, even if you didn't want to admit that that it was that you were all just this is what's sensible to do, this is what's practical no, no, can't have her. No. Uh and that's rather sweet, really, even as you're, wrapping her up in your web of obsession. Uh it's a sweet web of obsession, kind of, sort of, something like that. I don't know. Mads, all the side item is Pemberton Potts. She is just way too comfortable with all the weird stuff. And that's leaving aside what we have seen uh of in out of character. Ellie's seen enough to be nobody outside Hargrave House should be so comfortably matter of fact with a very Hargrave House solution. So, oh yeah, we'll get rid of the body. Yeah, no problem. I've got someone on that already. No problem. Sweet little old lady, my ass. Ellie does not trust her. She'll be friendly. She'll be civil and polite because apparently that's her job around here is to be the one who talks to people. But yeah. Um wishes. I really hope that I get a I really hope that I ace the quickening roll sometime when there is something physical to be done. Because I had that and then didn't need it. Uh though I do have that TBD clue I sniffed out for Limehouse Lurker. So we'll see where that points. It may be that I smelled something relevant when Felix was bleeding. Um, that was a fun bit. I like that. It's like, okay, we're going to tea. We're gonna talk to. Why are you bleeding?
And neither of
We're
us
just-
had any idea, and we're just trying to figure it out. Play cool. Play cool. They don't know.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that between us. I'm just like, we're not gonna discuss this. We're not gonna question this. We're just gonna cover it up as fast as possible. Figure it out later.
And honestly, it really is fitting that
Don't
it
freak
belongs.
the mundanes.
It's great that it belongs to Limehouse Lurker because honestly, the vampire was getting sick and tired of being ignored, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So
That makes
It's
sense.
a cry for attention.
it really was a cry
Yeah.
for attention. So
Yeah, well, you're the most beloved, aren't you, Felix?
he was.
Yes.
He is.
That's,
So
what that
happens.
does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
how many games of this have you played with me,
And
Michael?
every single time somebody took, like, when Liat took Most Beloved, immediately removed. I have never seen Most Beloved in action.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. He did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never
And
mind
then
then.
I
Okay.
didn't see the
All right.
previous Undeniable
I
because
don't-
that was a
Wait.
legacy.
That's right.
If you remove it, it's just gone, right? Because no one else can then mark it.
Yep.
So
So,
lame.
which
I'd be so mad.
like, I've never
So
seen it,
mad.
which is
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'll just
That's true.
deal
very
with
true.
it, I guess.
Yeah,
Whatever
nobody
does
else.
this mean?
Yeah, because it's like, Ben Basonio took it and yeah, like, it disappeared from the campaign and then didn't like nobody took it again and yeah, and then Jack took it as Liat and immediately removed it and yeah, we never saw it again and yeah, you never got to see it. So, yeah, you lucked out. So, now you're not. Whoops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Welcome. All right. So, just to make mine real quick, I mean, like, I just want to star overall. You guys had said a lot of stars that were like on the board, but I mean, like, just a lot of the character reactions today, but I mean, also involving some of the great character choices for, um, you know, the decisions made for answering the question, I will say, and then making the choice again, as was said, Mordecai stuffing the forest entity into a pot. What the hell? That's not going to come back and bite you in the ass. Yeah, all these choices to come back and bite you in the ass. Picking Nora as not only the apprentice but also as the lover for two people that should not be in the same house together, a hunter and a hunted, or yeah, hunted, and yeah, I mean, like, the buddy cop, the good cop bad cop vibe going on with Felix and Ellie. That is not something I would have suspected. Not at all. Not at all, from an Undeniable and an American Together. So great character choices. Holy shit, like, stars for some of the things that were going on today in today's episode. So amazing. That's all. That's all I want to say. So just as a reminder, for next time, first thing off, we'll be listening to Everybody's Mask of the Sharpened Glade. And I just want to end quickly with a just, it's not even a stinger, it's more of a little thing that is seen. I think, and this will be a clue that I stick into the keeper that I owe you. I think in a darkened room there is a portrait. It is of Royal Explorer Club members, and it is mounted on a wall in a beautiful frame. There's barely any light on it, sourced from some sconce that is above it. And it is framed with curtains on either side. It is in a dark corner, but in a shaft of moonlight streaming from a window, we see that everyone in this old portrait of Royal Explorer Club members, except for the shining faces of Ms. Pemberton Potts and Sir Thomas Shearer Cole, everyone in the portrait are stabbed through the heart with branches. And we cut to black and credits roll. Have a wonderful week, happy gaming, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
running. Bye.
Bye.